You. Okay, she's ready. So whenever you want to bring her up.
Good
Hello.
evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was working actually.
Yeah, I saw your artwork. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. I'm
Thank
you're
you.
gonna motivate me to get back on the board too. Because I
Thank
draw
you.
too.
Those were just proofs, so I can put it together in Adobe for
Oh,
album.
so you actually converted it into digital format.
Yeah. So this is just
Oh.
so this type of stuff is just to get the sketch going, and then I'm
Uh-huh.
going to go in and vector everything, and then colorize everything and stuff like that. So just the
Nice,
basics.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, all right.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Doing good.
I know you've been
Excellent.
listening in. You know.
No, because I've been drawing
Yeah, I get it.
and running
I know
in and
you
out of
gotta,
the kitchen doing
kinda
stuff.
like- But I know you have the experience in the manosphere as far as on the other side of the house. We're talking about the black manosphere, but you have
Yeah.
the experience over in the white side and
Yeah.
their ultimate destruction. What do you think caused that on their side of the house as far as their downfall?
Well, everything has its time for, that 15 minutes of fame,
Somebody
And
just
so-
said that.
Yeah. And so I haven't been listening to anything. So if I say anything that's like what you guys, I just now come in.
That's
right?
awesome. That's just confirmation. That's all.
Okay, excellent. And they also got mentioned on Homeland Security.
Mm.
And right
Oh.
after they got mentioned on Homeland Security, they started one by one quickly getting demonetized. Basically, it's just a scam. It's just a way to sell books and programs and courses. And hey, buy my mug and my T-shirt. And it's a man's space for angry gentlemen. Don't get me wrong. People can be angry. There's got to be an outlet somewhere, right? But that's where they go. And then after a while, they start figuring out, hey, I don't understand what it's not working, right? And they keep you in a perpetual cycle. And there's never really any real answers, and their formulas don't really ever fully really work if you really think about it. So, and they just keep you on the hook.
You said there's no real answers, but do you think they ask the right questions?
I think they try. I think they do. I've heard some people ask some really legitimate questions. Some men, yeah.
But do you think the problem is there was never a solution?
No, because it's kind of like how some therapists, they never really give you a full solution, so that way you have to keep coming back.
So our question before you came was how do we address, or how is some of this addressed? So I'll start with the women and go to men. I said I never heard of a Birkin bag until the social media came on and somebody says I need a Birkin bag, and they're like, Birkin bag, what? I wouldn't spend that much money. But I never heard that. Yeah.
How much?
They start around 45 and go up. Yeah.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, I know. It's right. I've known about Birkins forever, but I'm from California and I used to be in the Beverly Hills area. So that's, pretty commonplace. But yeah. I'm sorry, continue. What was the question?
Now people are requesting those because of online, and that seems delusional on a woman's part. Pay all my bills, pay all of this. And there's no solution. But then on the men's part, it was guys, I just can go up to a woman and I don't have any confidence. I'm still a nerd with no confidence, but since I can't get a woman now, all the women are trash and all the women are thoughts. So what is the solution? Meaning it seems like we should have brought this to light. And I think that was good for the manosphere to do. But where was the downfall at to say, all right, yeah, we're showing delusional women. How do we change them? We're showing delusional men. How do we change them?
Okay, well, this is a multi-dimensional question and problem. The first problem is you're kind of spotlighting things that are online. They're not necessarily representative of everything that's in the real world. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're looking to online as though that is the reality when you walk outside, and that's actually your reality. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on in Miami isn't necessarily what's going to be going on someplace in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
They're totally different cultures. What's going on in California is not going to be the same place as in Virginia. Like ageism is a problem in California, but it's not going to necessarily be that way in Virginia.
And you can marry your cousin.
Yeah. And you can marry your cousin. Exactly. Right. All problems solved. Then just keep it in the family. No, I'm kidding. So I would venture to say the biggest solution to me is stop hanging out online and get out into the real freaking world where there's real people. Talk to real people. You want to change your real life, you got to start at home, not online.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's why, like I said this earlier, is that this whole thing about becoming monk mode and becoming antisocial and thinking that, hey, you could just turn off the switch and become social. It doesn't work that way.
No, you have to work your way into it.
You have to constantly work it. Like even if you are a traveler, you should still have a life here within the United States. You should still go out, go have a drink, go attend a concert, still have a life here where you can still apply your social skills. So when you go overseas, it just happens naturally. But the problem is you got people telling other people, like, listen, shut everything down for the next 6 months and go overseas and live it up. It doesn't work that way.
No, you're just going to waste your money. And you're going to feel really awkward and stupid when you get done doing it. It's like a performer who's rusty. Okay, me. If I went back to stage or went back to singing and music or any type of performing, I would be hella rusty. That's why you do what's called rehearsals, right? And you got to ease your way back into if there was a comedian who's been out of game for like 10, 15, 20 years, like Eddie Murphy wanted to come back. You know what he would be doing? He would not only be rehearsing, he would be doing small venues, unannounced, show up and do a dead run. So that's what you have to do. You have to start small where you're at. Like I used to tell a friend of mine who is no longer my friend, he has a problem going out by himself. He doesn't go by himself. There's always somebody with him. I was like, look, this is what you do. I was like, I'm like, okay, you don't drive? Okay, so you get an Uber. Okay, how close is the place? Can you walk? If you can't walk, can you do a bicycle? Okay, start off by just getting a cup of coffee. Start off small. Go getting yourself a cup of coffee, going to a local store, get yourself acclimated, going someplace by yourself. You see what I mean? Like you got to start getting acclimated. You can't just be like, boom, here I am. And then everybody going to be looking at you like you're weird. Your body language is going to be weird. You're going to be awkward. So
yeah, I try to tell guys either go to their gym, go to that local bar that they can go to. I said, because if you go there and you may not know the people, but then they start to see you and they start to like, oh, I know him. Even though they don't know you, they just get familiar with seeing you all the time. And all of a sudden, now you're like part of the company. Conversation goes, people can talk to you, and you're going solo, but the people start to recognize you. You're like, what's Norm? Like Norm at the bar. Hey, Norm. But that's good advice. But the problem has been when that one guy goes out and he tries to talk to someone, all of a sudden he's humiliated on YouTube for getting neglected. And I know we say that, YouTube is not your life, but when they talk about where these Generation X gets their news and all of their information, it's from social media. So if they're only consuming social media and the trend goes through social media, how do you say get out of it and go to real life when most of these people are living vicariously through social media?
Others, through other things and other people. Start turning it off. Just start disconnecting is my advice. I think a therapist would say about the same thing, wouldn't they? I mean, if it's basically like an addiction, basically is what you're talking about. So if you're addicted to alcohol, what's the first thing you do? You don't drink anymore. Why? Because you can't just have one. So, I mean, start cutting yourself off. If you're addicted to porn, start cutting yourself off.
But that's good for you to cut off. But what happens to the people you try to meet who are always on it? Like that guy that goes out and the woman's like, oh, now you got to pay all my bills or you got to do this. And he's like, well, I don't listen. I prescribe to the social media. I don't know that.
You can't control what everybody else does. You can only control what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Because I wasn't sure how people were going to react to me saying that. But honestly, I mean, I'm an adult, right? So I'm responsible for myself. I can't control what everybody else is doing. If they aren't what I would consider mentally fit and mentally healthy themselves, keep moving on until you find people that are. Because there's going to be somebody. Yeah, just common sense. And people really lack it today.
And it's really dumbfounding to see that. It's like, guys feels like when they go out, they meet women that ain't worth nothing. I'm like, bro, change your environment, try a different atmosphere, meet quality people. There's ways you can meet different type of people based on the venue you go to. If you kind of rely on just going to the bar or to the nightclubs, then yeah, there's a certain quality of people that you're going to meet. But if you decide, hey, I'm going to attend a day party, you know what, I'm going to attend a art festival, especially during the summertime, depending on what city you live in, there's tons of festivals. a lot of single women attend these festivals. Dude, this is the winter. This is the winter time. Go to the gym, become a better version of yourself. So when that summer comes, you feel more confident about yourself. You feel good about yourself, and go out and mingle. Just don't. My thing is, do not expect someone to say yes to you just because you said hello. Just spark a conversation, see where it goes.
Absolutely. Learn how to have a conversation. Most people do not know how to make small conversation anymore or relate with each other. And everything is just very strange, right? So you got to take that strange way. How do you demystify something? You demystify it by doing it. And you do it over and over and over again until it becomes what? More comfortable and more natural.
Right.
I have a question then. I know you know some of these people. Where did they go wrong? Where did somebody like where did they go wrong? And I know you've met or talked to a few of them in person or know about them behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Are they who they say they are?
Go ahead and spill the beans on Rolo. Go ahead.
No, man, he's
you've been chomping at the bit. Yeah.
He's very rainbow. I did a whole thing on the series of the occult, and it was all related to online spaces. Hey, guess what? That also means the red pill man spaces, right? Manosphere spaces. No, he's very, very rainbow. There's footage of him in precarious situations in bed, possibly with another gentleman who's also in spaces. If you catch my drift. So is fresh.
Yeah, not Myron.
No,
can't bring up Myron.
Not Myron at all. Actually, I have a video of him at the can I say the gay pride? Can you say the G word? Can you say the G word?
Just say G.
Just say gay pride.
Okay. At the gay pride,
Rainbow Coalition,
waving the flag and all kinds of stuff. Wow. Let me if it was on my stream, I could pull up one of the clips that I still have it downloaded here.
You can do the present. You hit the present button if you load the video. You can play it.
Let me see. I still have it in here.
Let me get to this super chat that's sitting there dwelling. Darnell's always got to be the controversial guy, but I got to hit it.
Trippy Cat says he has that image. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we don't necessarily want to see it. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Darnell. I don't agree 100% with Nova Star, but she has a point about the course selling grift. Reminds me of the late night infomercials of the 90s.
Hey, guess what? Well, when I come out with a book and a course, you're going to be the first one to sign up, okay?
Oh, yeah, he's good for it.
Got to be the first one. Could you check your messages, please, Ronin?
Oh, is it in
Instagram?
Instagram?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on.
So you're saying that they just sold these guys a dream?
Yes. Yeah, it's basically motivational speakers 101.
My goodness. So the another question would be I think we tried to talk about it. You're on YouTube. So is it best to try to talk about, hey, this is what I do, this is what I like, even if you get 2 views? Mm-hmm. Or is it best to follow that Myron fresh and fit I'm going to go viral by talking about something crazy? And we talk about that because we do some travel information. And sometimes we may get, some views, but there's a guy that he crashes out. Mm-hmm. He begs for money. He goes overseas. He gets these ugly prostitutes to deal with. And he'll get $1,200, $1,400 in a setting because women want to, or guys want to show, oh man, you're crashing out. So what do you think is best to do? Do the we can yes, Ronan.
Send in the link.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you give me the question one more time? I'm sorry.
Do you make content that pleases everyone, or do you make content that would please yourself?
Well, obviously, this is going to sound bad. If you're in the entertainment industry, then you're looking to find a niche. And then you're going to carve that niche to that particular type of public. Man. So if they are disgruntled, then you're gonna target to that. If they like shock value, then you're going to target it towards that. That's how the gears are ran. And so obviously, any type of controversy is going to create more of a buzz, and it's going to attract more people. right? So that's what they do. And then you get these dumb little boys and these dumb little girls who think, oh, this is really how it is. This is really real life. Oh, this is going to be my new mentor. Good God. No, the last thing you want to do is have somebody who's in the entertainment industry be your mentor. Okay. Because what they're presenting to you.
Diddy's a great mentor.
Yes,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Is great example of that too.
Perfect example. So yeah. I mean, last thing you want to do is take somebody who is for sale and has no moral compass whatsoever, and they're presenting you something that they are not even at all whatsoever. When I was out in Hollywood all the time, let me tell you, when I first started going out there, I was told everybody that you liked, you're going to dislike afterwards. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, just wait, you're going to see what they're really like, right? Wow. So by the time I got, like, just say Drew Barrymore, now this is what I saw, this is what I experienced. Now what she does with her life, you know, whatever, she comes out of a Coke party, she's totally lit, man, and she's sitting there making out with a bunch of chicks and shit, you know. So and a bunch of actors too. I don't really want to keep naming names. I don't want to attract any problems. Okay, so, but let's just say what they are is not what they present, and that includes the politicians, and they go hand in hand.
So, is it best if we want to be popular, just follow the trend? Put our morals aside and follow the trend.
Absolutely, because there's a trend. There's always a trend, and you need to market towards that trend. So, if that's what you want to do, then
sell our soul.
Then you sell your soul, and you're in entertainment. Yeah, absolutely. But if you're trying to represent something else, then you need to stick to that and hold on to your moral compass if that's what you're going to do. You know, like a preacher, like they're supposed to, and they often don't.
What was the guy's name? Swaggart? Yeah, Swaggart. Maybe that was before your time.
Jimmy Swaggart?
I did not.
Oh yeah, we just talked about that the other night on a live. That was my guy, man. When Jimmy Swaggart went down, I was,
Trippy, I sent it to you on the WhatsApp. Yeah. Check your WhatsApp.
Ooh, yeah. When Jimmy Swaggart went down, man, that hurt me deeply.
Oh yeah,
I'm a Christian guy. I grew up in the church, so you know that was
same thing with my mom.
My idols was Jimmy Swaggart.
Yep. Same thing with my mom, but that, you know, they weren't the only ones. There's lots of them. I mean, the Bakers were also in there.
Oh, Jimmy and Tammy Faye Baker. Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah,
the makeup job that woman wore. Jesus.
She was following after, who is that broad who was Crouch? No. That she was married to the guy who owned TBN. You remember TBN, right? The guy who owned it.
The old guy.
Yeah, the old dude. Well, she did her hair and makeup very similar, so very crazy like.
I can't remember his name.
I
didn't want to say I never thought he was going to die, but he stayed around for a long time.
He did stay around for a long time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Benny Hinn, he was the next one to come crumbling down.
Oh yeah, my mom loves Benny Hinn. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Living on that big old mansion,
he stole. He stole a prophecy from A.A. Allen.
No, I didn't realize that.
Oh yes, he did. Yeah, and that was when my mom was like, "Okay, I'm never watching him again." And they came out of A.A. Allen's camp from the 1950s.
Yeah, I never asked my mom why she stopped talking about Benny Hinn, because he used to walk on water in her mind.
Yeah,
you know.
Pat Robertson.
Pat Robertson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once he started getting older, he started losing it a lot.
You know? He did? I don't know.
So I have a question for you, Nova Star. One of the things we brought up, especially when we call it the Black Manosphere, was there were some people who came on, Kevin Samuels, O'Shea Duke Jackson. One of the things that they were talking about was people not bringing other people behind them. You know, Myron said that Kevin Samuels got popular and he never like how we might bring you on this platform and say, hey, you know, we shout out your links to your channel. Hey, go see you, go support you, dedicate something to your Cash App. That he was all about himself. That was the accusation.
Oh.
So the question would be, should you all be about yourself? Because one person, the angry man, was like, yeah, you know, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
Kenneth
really with you.
Copeland. Yeah, Copeland.
Yeah. I didn't put anybody else on. Should I be about myself, or should you be trying to encompass everybody else to bring them up?
If you're smart, and you have to understand that being in the entertainment industry means public relations, but it also means networking. So to me, to be smart, you would want to always be networking and working with other people, or at least bringing them inclusively into your show, which attracts other people from other people's shows.
Well, that's when you're a small group. If you are a man, who's the Top Gun guy? Tom Cruise. If you're a Tom Cruise, or you're the top, is that necessary to do?
No, not necessarily. But you'll also find out, like, Blake Lively and what is his name from Deadpool? What's his name? They're married, right? God, what is his name? Why is his name escape me right now?
I'm looking at his face right now.
Yeah, I know, right? Their rear ends are getting uncovered right now, right? So about how they actually operate behind the scenes as like a power couple.
He seemed like such a cool dude too, man.
Yeah, but usually the ones who are the most cool, or the most funny, or sometimes the most dark and disturbing, to be honest. So am I here to tell everybody how to run an empire? Is that what I'm doing?
No.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We want to know not only how to run an empire, why does it crash down? Like, why did the Fresh and Fit just go tumbling? The Rolling Tommaso tumbling.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, thank you. Because
they just crumble down.
Because
why are these people still following them?
Because they're sheep, and they don't know actually what's going on.
Oh, that's my word. Sheep.
And then if they're not just sheep and they don't know what's going, if they do hear it, they're just too dedicated that they've wrapped their entire identity onto other people. They have no identity of their own. That's the scary part.
I think that's most people nowadays. I think most people don't have their own independent mindset. So, they jump on the latest trend or the latest hot topic and just run with it,
Yes.
And it shows. I mean, like the more you do these podcasts and you watch these people who comment, or you start realizing there's a certain type of person that responds to a certain way. Mm-hmm. And they kind of fit that blueprint. Like, wow, this is your life. And guess what? There's an audience that will cater to them.
There is.
So you can't address that.
No, there's always going to be that segment of the population. That's just how it is. You can't change everything in everybody's minds. And that's fine. But don't try and change mine.
That'll be a waste of time and energy to do that.
It is. Very much so. Some people, you'll never be able to change their mind, no matter how much truth slaps them upside the face, And
that's why I think, me and Roland, we have our debates, our conversation, privately. And I told him, like, man, you have a lot of patience, because I don't. I fucking don't. I mean, right now, if I was the admin, I would instantly block people. It's just like, you know what? I don't need your views. Because the thing is, sometimes you allow certain people to come in and affect the whole chemistry. Mm-hmm. If you let it. And it's just like, you know what? If you're trying to give off a certain message, but yet you have people coming in throwing you off, it kind of beats the purpose. So there are certain people, you can't save them. It is what it is. That's their life. That's who they are. Fuck them. Move on. Yeah. Reach out to the ones that want to be saved. Reach out to the ones that want to be helped. Focus on those. The rest, you trying to convince them to think a certain way, is beating a dead horse.
Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. I learned that years ago, and I've stopped. I stopped trying to save people. I used to try to save people. I can't do it anymore.
I was told about 5 years ago, put my cape up.
Oh,
but here's the thing, Nova Star. Yeah. The same thing I would tell BMT, the same thing I tell you. The chat is their own entertainment. Mm-hmm. Let them talk about whatever they want to talk about, because that may fuel other conversations, and let that. We have ours here. I think the problem is we get in our feelings. I've done it where I wanted to fight some people on here.
Yeah,
I'm looking at
you go into certain rooms and you want to argue with them for no reason. I'm like looking at you like, yo, bro, why do you even bother.
And so I think that we need to not look at the chat and say, hey, the chat is its own personality.
It's not the chat, though, Fearless. It's not the chat. It's just the way people think sometimes. It's not the chat. It's just like, this is who they are. They gravitate to certain behaviors, certain tactics that is kind of beneath you. And you trying to convince them to think and do a certain thing is a waste of time and energy, man.
Here's what I can say about the chat. Like I said before, you got to go in dark places.
Yeah. Bring Trippy Cat up.
Yeah. Like I said before, you got to go in certain places and shine a light in dark rooms. You pull those people out. Well, those people are used to doing certain things a certain way because that's the way they've been trained. So then you have to re-educate and retrain people in order to understand what our expectations are in certain rooms. Some people come in our room and they would never cam up in any other room, but they'll cam up in our room because they know there's a certain requirement and there's a certain standard we have when we hold panels. So at the end of the day, you have to, if you're going to pull them out of those rooms, you got to take the time to train them to understand these are the things that we expect in order to conduct yourselves. You just can't pull them out the room and say, okay, you're good. No, you got to take the time to show them and say, hey, this is the way you should be doing it.
As long as they're willing to do it.
Yeah. I don't know why you haven't checked your email yet, but
I think it's good to check your chat a little bit. Hi, Spittle. Nice to see you. And
P5.
Hi. It's good to check the chat and address them once in a while, but it shouldn't be. It will derail you if you pay too much attention to it.
Do not do what they tell you to do. It's a bad idea.
It is a bad idea.
Well, not everything that they tell you, you know.
Well, at least you have things censored over there.
Yeah. I'm a lot uncensored.
Don't pull it out. Don't go there.
But like I used to do random. You know what I mean? I'd play random videos that people put in the chat. And there was a couple people who took advantage, you know. Like, you don't get time to pre-watch before you do that. So of course you're going to get yourself in trouble. Right. But I would tell everybody, like, only send me YouTube links. No other websites are going to be played, you know.
Right. And D Ward says it perfectly. This room holds a certain type of decorum. You know, even Razor Rays, who runs a wild room at some points with the smoke shows, he came in here and parked out on the live and was like, this is the first time I never had to worry about running a chat, doing anything on the panel. He just enjoyed himself, you know, and that's the kind of vibe we want to put out, you know.
And I'm putting the link in if we want to bring up one person at a time to chat. So Trippy Cat, my question is, you are a man.
Usually.
Yeah. Have you?
Well, DEI is over, so you don't have to necessarily tiptoe around that. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever fallen for the Manosphere Red Pill talking points? Were you ever sucked into that group? And what is your idea about it?
Like, I had no idea who Rolo was until Miss Nova Star over there told me. I was like, who is this guy?
You actually pointed in the right direction.
Yeah. She's right over there. I mean, hey,
so
I can walk over to her house if I try.
Oh man, hey, leave that girl alone. You better leave my woman alone, man. That's my.
We're gonna have to share.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
That made me realize something when the Macron moved with me.
Beetle babe, good to see you.
As we say in our community, it's no fun if your homie can't have none.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What if I don't want to share, gentlemen? What if I don't want to share?
Then you're just selfish.
Oh yeah, gosh. I am selfish sometimes, yes.
And that's okay to be.
There we go.
So you've never fallen for any of those talking points that they have. What do you think about the talking points? You know, let's take a guy like Darnell that's going to come up. Darnell said he was an introvert, never really took care of himself, didn't haircut, was, you know, no confidence. And that talking point, or he listened to Fresh and Fit and he's like, oh, I got to get my stuff together.
Well, I mean, I can tell you that those talking points have been around since the 80s. In a lot of cases where they're like, oh, hey, man, we know how to do things. So if you listen to us, you know, we got your back. We got you. There was people like that back in the 80s. Kind of a lot like, I think you guys mentioned Kenneth Copeland and how, like, you know, those big preachers like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's made a resurgence on YouTube. I've noticed quite a lot of people trying to pull that.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, if people haven't learned yet, it's because they're young. In a lot of cases, like they don't remember the old stuff. But when it came to like Fresh and Fit and things like that, it's like, well, these are lonely guys. That's how I felt when I first saw, I think it was Fresh and Fit. I might have the wrong stream in mind. It should be Fresh and Fit. Is that the Myron and the other guy, or Byron?
Yes.
It seems like they're kind of like lonely-ish sounding guys. Like if you just listen to what they're saying and you don't really look at what they're doing, it sounds like they've been hurt a lot by women. And it's like, well, is that really the guy you want to listen to? The guy who has a bias already? Or would you rather hear the guy that like has the same experience as yourself, where it's like not so much hurt and pain, and it's more or less like legit experience without so much of the focusing on what women have done to them to make them dislike them.
But do you think that's why they're so popular? Is because they're feeding into those people who have been hurt, who can approach women, who've tried to talk I don't want to say the incel, but the lonely guy?
Absolutely. Yes, I fully agree with that. It's like, man, like I used to be on a stream where this guy used to ask the females in the audience to send certain kinds of pictures. And I told him one day, I was like, dude, we sound like friggin' losers. We sound like those nerd boys on Xbox that just sit there all day and talk about stuff but don't do nothing. And he was like, well, it's funny. I'm like, it's not funny. It's really not funny. Like, basically, please stop doing that.
Yeah.
Especially
my man here
women on the panel.
My man here is funny. He says, I don't believe in sharing my weed, less match my women's. So you don't puff pass? You're a puff sheep? What kind of guy are you, man? Goodness gracious.
Are you Bogart P. Fletch? Is that what you're doing?
That's my homie.
You're
over there.
bonging by yourself.
Did you share it out to somewhere, or did I? I know I shared the stream, I think, to Twitter. I'm like seeing names I know. I'm like, oh. I don't know if Rolo's going to be happy. I mean, Ronin is going to be sorry.
Oh, no, they can come in. They can come in. That's the point of the simulcast. That's the point of the simulcast. Get it.
You want to be mortified? Let Spittle send you a link to something.
No. I didn't say we were going to play the links, but they can definitely come in.
Play them.
Yeah. I know how wild and crazy your room can get.
Oh, it gets way worse.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it a little different this time, guys, so we don't have everyone on. We're going to like bring one person up at a time. We want you to ask your question. And remember, what we're trying to address is the manosphere. They're dying, fighting for clout, chasing clout. Is that new? Is that what we should be doing? What's going on? So I'm going to bring up Passport Blueprint. And if you have any questions of the panel, please do so. Passport Blueprint, how you doing today, sir?
What is up, everybody?
What's going on, Passport?
What's going on? Not really a question, but just a few points I want to bring out. Even when I first came to the show and I made this statement, the manosphere is just nothing more than the male version of a feminist, because that's what it is.
Thank you. I've been saying that.
It's the
totally agreed.
Feminism. And they're just sitting here arguing about women, but there's really no solution to bring these two genders together. It's women are doing this, women are doing that, they're 304s, but now you have this passport bro movement that's been hijacked, and now it's all about sex tourism. And they're going over and getting 304s. It's hypocritical. It's about, just mistreating women right now. And now I'm seeing in some of the academia libraries about red pillars being associated with domestic terrorism. With the shootings and stuff like that. So now this is starting to become a problem. And there's really no solution to this. And, I just went live last week from Mexico City, and here, and Ronin was on my live. And we were talking about, just, me getting my temporary resident visa, and, we spitting out information about, traveling and stuff like that. This is stuff that we should be doing and stuff like that if you want to go overseas and do it right. A lot of you guys are more focused on the women, or I should say the pros, rather than, putting yourself in the proper position to meet the women that you want to meet.
But let me push back on you. If I'm a guy who really does not, I haven't had much experience with women, and I've gone on dates, and somebody tells me for $100 I can get the girl that I've never could have gotten ever. I'm selling that dream. Why wouldn't I pay $100 to have that night that I can experience that I've never had? And we glamorize it. Go ahead.
Is it a dream or a nightmare?
Well, I think BMT says pay for your fantasies.
Or your fetish, or your kink, I guess.
Yeah.
But why pay for something?
Ooh, not the kinks.
Why pay for something short term when you can get something for free for lifetime?
Well, if you've tried and you have not been able to get that free for lifetime, and you've been rejected, and then some girl who you can only attract 3s and 4s because you're socially awkward, then all of a sudden somebody's paying attention to you who's an 8 or 9. I mean, if I was that, I'd take that deal.
Is she paying? If you're paying for a 8 or a 9, that's a pro. She'll take.
Oh yeah. I mean, but a lot of guys go there. What do they say? A lot of the women who are in there say some guys just want to talk because they're not being heard.
Well, maybe if you put down the Xbox and the phone and stuff like that and be sociable, you can.
Oh no, you didn't go there.
Oh yes, I did.
Oh no.
Develop a personality. What's that?
Personality, yeah. What is that? That's the problem.
I gave my Xbox away
when I was in, Polanco and stuff like that. I barely spoke Spanish, but I had the opportunity to interact with people. From when I was in Taco Nene's to Macad restaurant, interact with people. And there was a language barrier, but still, I still was able to have a personality to interact with people. And the guy remembered me the next time I went over there. People remembered me from my personality and my attempts to just communicate and stuff like that. That's just from 2 different cultures and 2 different worlds. People still remembered me. How come?
What did you just say? You said personality. And Nova, I want you to get in. How many guys don't have personality?
A lot of guys don't have a lot of personality or charm.
They think they do.
Unfortunately, you guys do, absolutely, but not some of these other guys. Unfortunately, no. And a lot of them, they don't care. You could tell them all day what their problem is and how to fix it, but the truth is, like, less than probably 5% will ever put in the work to actually do it, to fix everything.
Yeah. And Blueprint Passport. See, here goes may I ask your age, Blueprint Passport?
55.
All right. And I don't want to ask your age, Nova Star, but you're probably part of our generation. We came up in a generation where there was no Tinder. You actually had to go and talk to someone. If you wanted a number, we often joke about this. The only tools I had going to the mall was this and this. Yep. And you had to go talk to a girl and you got their number and you had to talk to them. The guys today have never had to approach a woman in real life. So we're demanding of them of something that they never done. They've only been on Instagram, Tinder. They've only known how to swipe right or left. They only know how to say WYD in the chat.
What you doing?
Yeah, we're expecting something of them that we haven't. That they can't do. Go ahead, Tipsy.
Oh, I was gonna say, or you do like the late night.
Tipsy, I'm sorry.
You can tipsy, trippy, whichever.
I thought you guys had.
He's over there drinking, so he's actually calling out what he's doing or what he is right now. He's tipsy, not trippy. You get what I'm saying?
Right, dude? You got the late night text though, where you're like, "Hey, you up?"
Oh, good.
Hey, you up?
What is that? A booty call?
Yeah, but
that's what you do. You tell a girl, you're like, "I'm up in more than one way."
Exactly.
Oh,
and then she wants to know what you mean, and you're like, "Here," and then you send her a mortifying picture and get blocked.
Yeah.
So Fearless, I got to give you a little pushback because here's the thing: when I was in the immigration office, getting because I got my temporary resident visa for Mexico, I had a beautiful, gorgeous girl from Spain sitting next to me. And we was just struck in a little small talk. little side, little comment here and there. She just smiled and winked at me, and that was it. Nothing major. And
that was it. Meaning what? You were whipped? What does that mean? That was it.
That was
what
it.
does it mean?
Small talk. It just builds a little confidence.
Oh, okay. You planted the seed.
Yeah, it was just more of a planting of the seed, and now these guys don't know how to do that because they're just thinking if you go and you say something to this woman, it's all about trying to get in her pants and stuff like that. No, it's not necessarily have to be about that. Just talk to the girl. Say something nice. You don't have to be about, getting in her pants and stuff like that. You're never going to build confidence in things about sex. Just talk to the woman. That's all.
But Blueprint, and just to let you know, Nova Star, we are the knuckle draggers. Just to let you know, when the gentleman is saying knuckle dragger, and what he means is we're Neanderthals because we think how things used to be.
Oh, that's what he meant. I thought he meant
yes,
dudes in general these days. Oh
no, we're like
he's referring specific to our mentalities and the way we
because we have a traditional way of thinking where we say, I should provide, I should take a woman out, I should open the doors. He calls that knuckle dragging.
No. American Talk Live, you need to come over to my section. I'm going to spank you because that's incorrect. They are not.
Well, don't threaten him with a good time, Nova.
I know, right?
They're
not knuckle draggers, and they are gentlemen, and they know how to behave themselves. So take note and learn.
Exactly. The passport blueprint. But you're saying a skill that they never developed. How did they develop that skill? That's not a skill that these young guys know about. You're talking from an older person who has gone through all of that. Those young guys have not, and that's what I guess I'm trying to find out, and not only find out, that's why that manosphere, that red pill, was so popular, because they're catering to a group of people who feel like that.
The only way you're going to learn it is learn it from the older generation that know how to do it, and stop being on YouTube and all the Xboxing and all this other stuff. Be men.
That part.
You also learn by doing it.
Oh, you're challenging to be something they're not used
all right,
to.
then let me say this, Nova Star. Let me ask you this then. You say no by doing it.
Yes.
There was a time when I grew up that it was frowned upon for a woman to be like out there. Some things you just didn't discuss. You may have went to the dorm room and had a little frenzy, but you denied it. Mm-hmm. Now you get on the internet and say, not only was I with him, I was with his best friend and the guard, and I. So when we say don't, but when we say
yes,
don't do it, people are doing it. So that how do you as an not older person, but I'm saying someone with experience, how do you get that experience to someone younger?
That didn't even sound right either.
You think I'm old? Do you? Is that what you're saying? You think I'm old or what?
Experience didn't help out either. I'm sorry.
It did not.
What the hell?
You're talking about.
She's gonna beat me up for that later.
But you're gonna enjoy it.
You're talking about trying to teach people something who don't want to learn that.
Yes.
So if they don't want to learn that, then let them figure it out the hard way. I don't care what they're going to do. If they want to be called, if they want to be known as a floozy and trash and act like trash, then they can do it and figure it out on the other side when it becomes really hard later on in life. That's not my response. I mean, I'll teach other people things when they want to learn things, but I'm not going to go out of my way and try to change people who think this is great and it's wonderful. There's no changing them. We said that earlier. It would be a waste of my time.
Yeah, the only way.
All right, we don't change them, but do we blame them then?
Then you're talking about having to have the rest of the culture, everybody in America, start getting back on board with morals.
But
that's the only way you can do
here's
that.
The thing. I talk about this. If I can go on Maury Povich and say, meet me outside, cash, how about that?
Oh, her.
And then I can open up an OnlyFans and make $50 million. How can you tell me I'm doing something wrong?
You can't, because you're getting paid, right? So there's a reward.
How do you tell this new generation? Yeah, how do you tell a new generation that who is reaping the benefits of that what you're doing is stupid?
Well, that kind of also comes down to supply and demand, right? There's the demand. So if she's supplying and the demand got cut off, then the supply would get cut off too, right? So they're going to has to also start with men. Also, the males have to start being taught, and the females have to start being taught. There's no way to reel that thing back in. Pandora's box is open.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
Facts.
And honestly, you know, I'm very enterprising, and if you start taking away all that type of stuff legally, then it's going to start having repercussions on it with, say, religiously, in other ways, if you catch my meaning. Just take a look at the movie, The People versus Larry Flint. Larry Flint went back and recategorized what freedom of speech was, and meanwhile also getting the church back their freedom, okay? So there's repercussions on both ends. There's no way to reel that one back in that I'm aware of right now. Do I agree with it? No. Do you see me doing it? Hell no. But I can't stop those other bimbos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, Danielle Bergoli was the name of that chick. I don't know why when you said that I remembered her name. So if anybody wants to go follow her on her, I'm just messing.
Because you got the hot for her. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she definitely figured out how to work that whole character, right?
She did.
Into something.
Well, the thing
I think
is,
her most recent thing was claiming that she got kidnapped when she was in Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria.
I think that was her most recent thing.
Mhm.
Who was this?
That
That
Catch
girl.
Me Outside girl.
Oh, Bad Bunny or whatever her name is.
Is that her name
Bergoli?
now?
Bad.
Maybe
Bad.
I'm mixing them up.
What's her name? Bad Barbie or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bad Barbie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got her and then you got all the other ones. Because there's a couple of girls that, like, for some reason, they're easily like mixed up in my mind because they all got famous.
They all have
for being
identity
low cows.
crises.
they do.
Yeah, the low cow girls, and then there was that. Remember the one, the little Asian girl that used to swear in all of her videos, and then she came back, and then they put out a Bitcoin and faked her no longer aliving.
What?
She did that?
I can't remember what her name was. It was Lil Tay. Her name was Lil Tay.
Oh yeah, Lil Tay. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and she came back and did that music video. That grossed me out because it was a bunch of people on Twitter claiming she was hot, and it's like, dude, she's like 16. Stop. You know, I had
Some
to tell
guys don't
people.
care. I mean, even in
I
Oh
know.
no,
the
they
content
waited till
provided
this
space,
girl
yeah.
was, and the person you,
Especially the
you wanted
rental.
to know we were. Where did she go? Catch Me Outside. Y'all wanted to see who?
Yeah, that's bad.
we were talking
That's
about.
Bad Barbie or whatever her name is.
I think her name's Danielle Bergoli, Bad Barbie.
Mhm.
Right here.
Yeah, her.
Yeah. So, they waited until she was 18.
Well,
as soon as
yeah.
she turned 18, the night of her 18th birthday.
She went on OnlyFans
started
and made almost
OnlyFans.
like $5 million within the first month or two. I'm like, that's insane.
Wow.
And then there was this one chick that just made 46 million, and she's a virgin.
Holy
But it was like
crap.
she was ransoming out her virginity for the
Wow.
money, and she went on OnlyFans and made X amount of money.
Well,
doing
you
it.
know that girl that was going around saying that she was with like so many men in one night. She's pregnant now.
Yeah, we had her.
The 100, I think, not the 1,000. Yeah,
Yeah, and I guess you don't have. I don't know what she shares on her OnlyFans,
Mhm.
but this is who you're talking about. This girl here. So
Yeah.
she's a virgin OnlyFans model who made millions without selling sex.
Yeah.
So,
Nah, she's selling it still. It's just
She's selling
she's-
everything but actually the act
the
of it.
appeal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
that's $43 million.
$1 million. Insanity.
Wow, that is
That
a
is
lot of money.
quite crazy.
I did things wrong in life. Is that what you're telling me? I'm just kidding.
We all
Yeah,
did at
it
this
is.
point. We all did at
We
this
all
point.
did, yeah.
Who's the
And
one
that-
from Twitch?
We were born too early in life. We needed to wait until this generation.
And that's where those guys
So-
are at. Those
So
are the,
no. So Passport Blueprint. How do you tell the manosphere that they're wrong when they point to these women and say these women, they're privileged. They think they can get whatever. They have no skill. Their only skill is a set of C-rack and a booty. How do you tell them that they're wrong when they're seeing this? He can't make $43 million if he worked all his life and hit the lottery, but she can show a nipple and get it.
Well, that's where the hypocrisy come from, because they all got this. They all have accounts with those old ladies. They're all watching them. They all have the account. They just ain't admitting it. They sit here and they go on these shows. They complain about women this, women that, but they all got Bad Barbie accounts. They're watching Bad Barbie left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And they're paying for that stuff because they don't want to go out in the world and actually meet women and interact and have conversation. They stay in their mama's basement on a computer screen because this is how easy it is. Everything is digital because you're protecting yourself. If you get rejected, you just delete it or you block them or what have you. You don't feel that bad. Whereas if it's done in your face, you kind of feel really, really bad about it, that you got rejected in your face in person. That's the problem. And they can't deal with rejection face to face. On the screen is a different story. Well, somewhat of a
That's really annoying to me. People need to learn that life is not easy. It's actually very difficult. And you're going to have to expect some pain and some trauma and being told no. That just goes along with being alive. Deal with it.
Exactly.
Get out of your safe spaces and get out there and, tough it out a little bit. That's the real world.
Digital world is safe. That's
very safe.
Yeah, not to mention the instant gratification,
Thank you, Ozzy.
This is the safe space for them. And
it is.
So just go digital. That's why they don't interact with human beings and stuff, because they don't feel safe.
Yeah, but now they're coming out with those freaking robots. They're just trying to replace women left and right for everything,
Yeah. Well, I can tell you a little secret, too, when it comes to those fans models. I'll just call them that. A lot of their viewership and money comes from people from the Middle East. There was a couple of the models that came forward and showed, this is where my payments are coming from. Right. And one of
all my subscribers come from India.
Yeah, that makes some sense. But yeah, what is that chick's name from Twitch? The one that got really famous. She's a redhead. Star, you've seen her. I know that. Can't remember her damn name. I can see her in my head. Can't remember her name.
Wasn't that preacher's daughter, was she?
No, it was she got famous on Twitch first, and then now she owns a gas station. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't remember her name. Know. But she's the one that made 56 million off of OF.
God, dog, man, these chicks are making a killing.
Not
in a year, she made 56 mil. And somebody went over her finances and posted screenshots of where the payments, the general area of where the payments were coming from. And a lot of them were
Amaranth. What is Amaranth?
It's not Amaranth, right?
It is Amaranth. Thank you.
Okay, there. Yeah. There we go.
They knew who it was.
Was Dubai, and areas where there's oil tycoons and stuff.
And of course they got the money to burn, so I guess throwing 1,000 down the toilet. I mean, literally online, there's nothing to them, huh?
Right. Well, the thought process. Yeah, it's a little pun.
We're gonna add a person to the panel.
Oh man, he's got the fire going.
Hey, what's going on? Salute to the panel. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good. Turn your levels down just a little bit. You coming through real strong with your mic.
The reason I got Darnell here, and I see you in the background, Richard. I'm gonna bring you up in a second. You have any more things, Blueprint? If not, I'm gonna drop you down, but you can stay in the back, and we'll bring you back up if you have a question. Is that all right?
That's cool. You can just drop. Yeah.
You sure, brother? Just stay in the background. We got you.
Okay.
Yeah, don't leave. Yeah.
And I see you back there, Richard. We'll bring you up. I just want to ask something I want to have.
I need to see that full effect, bro. You got the helmet on. I mean, you got your headphone on. I want to see that full, look, your new look.
Well, first, how's my audio level now? I turned it down a little bit.
It's a little better. It's a little better. Yeah. It's better.
Okay.
Before you come on, Darnell, I just want to address this in a sense. Nova, now Darnell, I'm just putting you on the spot, and Darnell is the typical guy that listened to the Fresh and Fit. He said that he was that person who didn't have a lot of confidence, didn't really talk to women, and then he's seen that their points, hey, man up, get in shape, do this, and he really followed them. So what advice, and he's not a young guy. He's not like a guy who's like 20 and doing it. So their effect isn't just local. So what do you say to a person like Darnell who says, man, I learned from them. They kind of took me out. And Darnell, you can tell your own story. I don't want to do it. I just wanted to introduce you. Go ahead, sir.
But I gotta, before he even responds.
I remember him from the last time when I was with Inca on here.
Before he even responds to that, you had to, before you listened to all these guys, you were in the military. The military gave you a level of confidence. The military taught you certain things that you shouldn't have had to relearn from these guys. But at the same time, I want to understand how their teachings didn't set with you. The military, I'm talking about respectfully, versus these guys in the manosphere. What was the variance? It didn't click while you were in the military, but it clicked when you went to the manosphere.
And just to correct you, Ronin, that does not necessarily have to be true, because we did an interview with Vernon Miller, and he went into the military to follow, never to lead.
Okay.
So I just want to start with that's not exactly true for everyone in the military, Ronin. It's I'm not going to say it's necessarily a myth or anything, but I'll be honest with you. I've seen there was a lot of soldiers out there that weren't necessarily good with women or were getting played. I told you guys the story of PFC Hack. A guy in my unit that got played by an older woman that was married. Her husband was deployed.
I get that.
Iraq.
I just want to know about you specifically. I have all kind of stories in the Marine Corps, the same thing. Dudes just don't learn. But I'm saying, what for you particularly didn't click with the military, but clicked with the manosphere? That's why I'm asking.
Well, to be honest with you, during my time in the military, I was young and dumb. We all
were at the point.
Yeah, the military told me. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the military told me not to do a lot of things, i.e., buy a car that you can't afford. Don't get into debt. Save your money. I did none of those things. So it's one of those things that you're just hard when you're young and dumb. You're hard headed. You're legally an adult. So now you think you know every damn thing, and that was my problem in the military. And as I got older, life began to humble me. Especially. And it was really, for the most part, there's one thing I did listen to was a lot of the older NCOs. I do want to say there is that misnomer out there that, back in the day before social media, men were out there getting women and were real men and all this. I'll be honest with you. I knew NCOs that were telling me, don't ever get married. Don't do it. Don't go out there dating, all this other stuff. Older contractors, I was influenced by a lot of contractors, which eventually would lead me to becoming a government contractor. And all of them were saying the same exact thing. So they had difficult times with dating, with marriage, just like we do today. I just think today social media made it worse. But at the time, I had a lot of anger and bitterness around 2016, 2017, is mostly 2017. I had a lot of bitterness. My ex-fiance, she called off our marriage. I had a lot invested in that. We were dating off and on for about 4 years. So like when she, Brazil's economy tanked, I think in 2014, I was helping her out. I helped her out not once, but twice, as she was trying to get back on her feet, and when she decided, it's just not working out, I found somebody else kind of thing. Well, naturally that kind of made me upset. It's like, well, wait a minute. I did, it's not a case, okay, it just didn't work out or whatever have you. It's like, okay, well, I invested in a lot and I got nothing to show for it, in the end. And
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the game for us.
Yeah. But that sucks, and I think that's what and I think that's what a lot of men go through, which does cause that hatred, that anger, that resentment towards women. Is again, I think you guys have heard me say the term, "Where's the ROI?" And there's a reason I say that. I mean, I have no issues with a woman saying, "Hey, it's not working out" or anything, but you mean to tell me it was working out when I'm paying the bills and this and that and helping you out? It was great then, but now you don't need me now. It just kind of gave a certain way. But the thing was, what I didn't understand was.
So then, from what you're saying right now, I can hear why you identify with the red pill and the manosphere. So now go into what the manosphere taught you in addition to what you didn't quite comprehend or catch with the military.
So what the manosphere taught me was, it wasn't just versus the military. It wasn't just don't get married and all that other stuff. It was, okay, I learned about female nature. I learned about not getting upset, like, hey, this is just the way it is, and you have to, it's not women's fault, it's your fault. They taught me about accountability, believe it or not. They taught me about accountability. Okay. That you got to look in the mirror and say, what are you doing wrong? And one of the issues was, okay, I was too quick to lead with money, obviously. Trying to be flashy. I know Fearless, he doesn't think that, I was getting haircuts before. I mean, man, I used to be fresh to impress all the time, But the thing was,
one haircut does not describe a consistent nature, but I'm proud of you.
I was getting more than one haircut back then.
I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now today.
Yeah. Well, I had a date yesterday, so that's the only reason I got the haircut. Yeah. But so yeah, where was I? Okay, so the manosphere. So again, it taught me, about accountability, about my action. Okay, you have to be the best version of yourself. You can't be leading with money. Obviously, you can't. You got to be that man that women want. So you have to build yourself up. It's like being, say, a company trying to sell a product, right? You can't get mad because people aren't buying your product. Hey, why aren't you buying my product? I spent all this money, all this other stuff. You gotta, you have to sell your product, or you have to sell yourself, or think of it as a job interview. You have to sell yourself to an employer, right?
Right.
You have to go in confident. You have to have the skills, and the experience. They're going to grill you. They're going to question you. If you don't have those experience, you don't have the skills, well, guess what? You ain't getting a job. And it's the same way when it comes to women. If you don't have what they're looking for, they're not going to want you. And that was the thing.
With all that said, why wasn't you doing what they were looking for? Meaning, why weren't you getting your haircuts? If you're hearing this message from Fresh and Fit or whomever, why weren't you doing what they were telling you to do to get the results that you wanted?
Well, the truth is, as I was listening to Fresh and Fit, I really, especially watching, if you watch the after hours, I was like, do I even want, it made me think, you don't even want that. There's an old saying from William Shakespeare's Henry IV, the head, damn it, I'm gonna butcher it, but the head lies heavy with the crown. I probably slaughtered that, but I mean, just look at all the,
heavy lies the head that wears the crown.
Yeah, wears the crown.
That's it. That wears the crown. Thank you. I mean, just look at how Fresh and Fit, for example, every time there's a woman accusing them of SA or some kind of creepy behavior, and a lot of times it turns out to be true. Look at the NBA. Look at Deshaun Watson. Look at all these guys. Antonio Brown. Any dude that has all these women. I'm saying, I'm paying child support and all this other stuff, man. Do you really? You got to ask yourself that question. Do you really? Maybe it's a good thing that you don't have all that. You don't have, these types of women and things of that nature. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I just wanted to be the best version of myself. And it doesn't really involve, to me, it just didn't really involve getting a haircut or anything. It was, to me, it was just more, okay, let me get myself debt free. Let me, which I've done. Let me build, start building things.
So Nova, how do you talk to someone like this Darnell who says they're either showing his reality or they're showing him they're making him so afraid to go out there in the world because that's all he's seeing. And that's why, in a sense, the manosphere was popular. So how do you help these young guys out?
I'm kind of lost. That was very vague. Can you pinpoint the question just a little bit more, please?
All right. So Darnell says, hey, I watch Fresh and Fit and I'm seeing women that only want money. They're going after guys and they're, getting pregnant so they can take all of their check. And because of that made him afraid to date because that's all he's seeing. And then that became his reality because he was helping women out, paying their bills. And as soon as he stopped, they left. So that was his reality. And that's why the manosphere was so popular. So how do you talk to someone like a Darnell to say, be different? Because I think Passport Blueprint is like, oh, go talk to him, go do this. But that's not his reality. How do you?
I'm not saying this towards Darnell, but I would say some of those gentlemen out there actually need to see therapists, honestly. So I would say that the internal work needs to be done to address some of those issues. As far as creating fear mongering is everywhere. You're seeing it from the government, okay, and the media perpetuates it. So that's just another segment of fear mongering, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen to you. Those are smaller percentages that can happen to an everyday individual. That isn't necessarily what's going to attract, because those guys with more money attract gold diggers, and that's what they like to play around with, right? It's kind of like Elon Musk constantly going around with certain types of women and gets them pregnant, but then he doesn't really want to have anything to do with the child, but he supports the child and he supports the woman, right? Well, that that's what, more money, more problems back in the 90s, right? Isn't that what they used to say? So what would I say to you? I would say I wouldn't look at what other people are doing and say that that's going to be your reality. That's the biggest mistake. Other people are, like we said earlier, you're living vicariously through somebody else. It doesn't mean that is going to be your reality in your world, but you're living that reality through somebody else. So you need to unplug from that stuff. And if what we're seeing on the internet or the TV or the media is really becoming that much of a problem for people, then turn that shit off. It's serious.
Well, you know how propaganda is. Propaganda.
I know.
You remember the Jaws movie? Everybody stopped going into the ocean because they thought you were going to get attacked by sharks.
Just when you thought it was safe.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But I just want to respond to what Miss Nova Star just said. The only thing is, you got to remember, I started dating before social media, right?
Okay.
It's when I started dating, right? And again, I saw these things before social media, like being a government contractor, for example. So it wasn't just people, athletes and celebrities. I'm talking guys. I remember taking anger management back in 2006. We had a guy. He was I was in the Army at the time. We had a guy that was a government contractor. He came in. He was sad, making good money, and he said his wife just called him up while the man's deployed, said, "I don't want to be with you anymore," just out of the blue. This was just an average government contractor. It wasn't, again, not a celebrity or not something I would see on TV. This is a guy that I was physically in the room with in anger management. And I mean, it was like his world came crumbling down.
And he was deployed? He was also in the military?
He was a government contractor. He just...
same difference. He was deployed.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, obviously the military, much like the police and firefighters, they have a very high divorce rate.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a stigma that goes with that, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate that those things happen. I'm sorry, but it kind of goes with the territory when people are away from each other for long periods of time, and shenanigans happen, and people get tired of the bullshit, it even affects people in ministries, honestly. Nobody is immune. There's no guarantees. I mean, I've had my own bad runs, so I understand. I've used to, like, remember when I first came on here, I said I used to lead with my wallet. Okay.
Mhm.
I was the male equivalent to a lot of things, but I was in a female package. Nice, but still like a man in some regards, because I paid for everything. I didn't think about it, didn't care. I've made the money, whatever.
Yeah.
So I understand, but there's no guarantees in life, and some people have a harder life than others. So the best thing to do is to look at yourself and go, okay, I'm repeating the same pattern over and over and over again. What am I doing wrong? It's like picking the same person with a different face, but it's the same personality type over and over and over again. So that's internal work. Unfortunately, it's a pain in the ass. It's a grind. I understand, but it has to be done. So that's when I would say reach out for help. So a lot of these guys, like you're talking about, they need to do the internal work. Like you said, he was in anger management and he was having a hard time and his world came crashing down. It happens to women too. So we have to pick up and start moving on.
Or, it was like go to church and look for women.
No, that's not.
Well, this was Kuwait, so you're not going to find a church in Kuwait.
No, not like that.
Bowling alley? Library?
Library?
Stand on your rooftop and let out your feathers, and they'll come to you. I was thinking about peacocks.
Yeah, peacock.
That's called molting, and that's not the cutest part of molting.
No, it's not.
Losing your feathers.
You look a little rough. You look a little rough during this time.
But yeah, the thing is, if you listen to like early Fresh and Fit, a lot of times, believe it or not, they weren't in the beginning. Yes, they did, chastise women, and a lot of their rhetoric towards women, it was horrible. But at the same time, they were blasting the men, and they were blasting men really, really harder. Like one of the things that encouraged me to go to the VA, I told the story of how I went to rehab through the VA. I'll be honest with you. It was a rant from Myron that encouraged me to walk into that VA office and get help. Granted, I tried to do it alone. I tried to do it myself, and I was just failing. I was trying for 6 months. After I listened to that rant from Myron, I was trying for about 6 months. And I mean, I kept, I just remember, I get lightheaded, start to shake real bad, things of that nature. So I went to the VA. They said, yeah, you shouldn't try to quit drinking on your own. You need professional help. What I found out is alcohol activates the same receptors in the brain as, say, heroin does. I didn't know that. So,
I didn't know that.
Yes. And so you need something. Yes, really. That's so, like, you ever seen New Jack City when Pookie, and they had the little montage scene where they're trying to get him clean and stuff, and he was going through those shakes and withdrawals.
Yeah.
They had to give him methadone.
Well, did you know it's actually more dangerous to quit alcohol when you're addicted, because alcohol is like the one drug that can kill you if you try to do it cold turkey.
Yes. Yes.
The addiction and the
That's
dependency.
insane.
Yeah, it's the
Also
dependency
heroin.
that gets you.
And it's the one you can get legally without a damn prescription.
Yep.
And so my thing with Nova Star is, how do you stop these grifters like the Fresh and Fit, the Roly Tamale?
You can't.
I can't. I can put out information. I mean, come on. Do all you gentlemen who are looking for women want to take advice from homosexuals? I mean, seriously. Seriously.
Not my first choice of advice.
No. I will. No. I'm gonna say this. Not that I'm defending it.
Okay.
I know women that would hang. They rather hang out with the gay friends than real men.
That's common. That is very
I
common.
can't use
So when you say take advice from the homosexuals, those guys get it. If I pretended to be a homosexual, I'd get more women.
I was not one of those girls. Those girls have a name. They're rainbow hags. I can't use the term.
Oh, I've never even heard of
with
it.
hag.
There's a term for it?
Oh, here, let me type it in the back.
It's a word that rhymes with
Here,
hag,
I'll
but
type
it's
it in the
spelled
back.
different.
I want to see that. I want to see that term.
A shortened version of a word.
I didn't know there was
It used to mean bundle with
There
sticks.
you go. That's the term.
Really? I did never knew. So
Yeah.
those are the women who hang out with the Rainbow Coalition.
Yeah.
Well, they're often attracted to them too. Like the ladies that are attracted to the rainbow guys.
I'll be honest with you.
Oh, okay, that word. I've heard that word before.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you though. Being a Lyft driver, and I have picked up, these women from these clubs, and yes, I mean these women aren't really hags. A lot of them are actually very attractive women.
Oh no. That's
No,
just
but
the name for them. They're beautiful, yeah.
Some of them,
Yeah.
And they like shopping with they like having a cute guy that can go shopping with them and they can kiki with them, as they say, and then at the end of the day not demand anything from them. That's what they're doing.
like besties, but half the time they'll also stab women in the back, just so you know.
Oh, I heard male
They sure will.
male G-men are really horrible when it comes to friendship. They'll rip you up one side and down the other.
Oh yeah,
And a lot of those
they
guys
stab women in the back real quick, fast, and in a hurry. They like to get in real close, act like one of the girls, and then they stick the shank in real deep,
And
and leave you out bleeding dry.
Stick the shank in and
Oh yeah,
twist.
Is it a shank?
When I was
real deep, or they?
Let me tell you, when I was a professional dancer, I had 3 or 4 of them come up to me and they were like, I've never been with a girl, and you're like really sexy. And I would really like to try
bring that up
with you. And I was like, get the hell out of here! Absolutely,
Right.
not.
Yeah, they'll be like, I've never been with a woman. Why don't you be my friend?
No, they.
It's like they've been with a woman before.
No, not those ones. No.
Oh no, they did.
No.
They were just trying to get you to be number 20 or 40 or whatever.
Now listen, I said
I'm just
no.
saying.
They could
I
be
said
bisexual.
no. I was the one who was there. I knew those people. No,
Stars over here
they
like
hadn't.
You don't know me, bro.
that's
Meet
right.
me outside.
I don't even remember that girl's name. That was some girl I offended that was on
Get
Twitch
me
that joined my
outside.
show. Started screaming at me.
And let me welcome to the
Bro.
show, Richard, American Talk Live. How you doing, Richard?
I'm doing real good. Salute to the panel. How are my levels?
Your
All
levels
right,
are good.
Richard, you used to be on a show where
Oh.
me and Ronin used to say that every time they mentioned our name, we would take a drink.
You go in
They
there.
mentioned our name so much that we had to say we can't even do that anymore because we were going through bottles.
It's
dangerous.
Actually go in there. I had
Am I the
some
only one not drinking?
I didn't know we were being mentioned still. I thought they
Oh,
forgot
man,
about
we-
us.
some
they-
accolades.
So I need to
I'd
go
like
back and listen to this now?
They mentioned
Absolute
it so much.
accolades I'd like to throw out
You're
to the
hoping they
panel.
shut
First of all, Trippy Cast, you're a beast.
Why?
You a
Oh, thank you.
that whole
Thank you.
thing,
Hey.
dude. You can go on right now.
Hey, Trippy, are you rigging through a character animator live when you do it? Okay.
I actually have a puppet I'm working on that works with my IRL arms, but I don't know if I'll get it to work because my camera's a little too close.
Trippy
and then
traded in his Xbox for extra bones in his avatar body. You're an animal.
That's right, I did. Actually, I gave it to a
wanna-
friend of mine
I
that
wanna-
Twitch streams.
I want to
nailed
move
it to
on to
him.
Nova Star. Nova
Yes,
Star,
sir?
you are a Hollywood veteran, I gather, because many
I've-
things that you talked about this evening or this afternoon, in my case, on the show, relates to my experience of 25 years living in the city of Los Angeles, and you speak from a depth of insight that I deeply respect.
Thank
Man
you.
Darnell.
Thank you.
My man Darnell, what they don't realize about you, my brother, is you got pretty boy privilege. Y'all
Pretty
can
boy
talk
privilege.
about Darnell.
Wait, pause.
He called you
Pause.
pretty.
First of all, pause.
Wait,
Pause for
hold
a
up.
second, Richard.
Hold up with your curly koofy.
You,
Slow
you
down.
see 3 of us up in here, all light skinned, so don't think he is the only one that had that
Hold on
privilege
with your
and
curly
still
koofy.
do to this day. Still do have that
Darnell.
privilege.
Darnell got pretty boy privilege. He looks like one of the brothers Johnson. Y'all don't.
He
look
just
like
came
none
out of caveman status. Don't keep flirting with him right now.
Darnell. You got
Yes,
the
sir.
city on lock.
He was
my brother.
Captain Caveman a second ago.
I just wanted to share that with you. And girls love cavemen. Trust me when I tell you.
Oh wait, we're
Oh.
knuckle draggers, but they don't like us. They don't like the knuckle draggers, but they like cavemen. Make that make sense.
Cavemen
Got them
in bed.
callous knuckles.
Let me work on that a little bit, Ronin.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm messing with you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, shout to the panel, man, and great conversation tonight. I just wanted to come up and show my support and answer any questions about the future that you might have.
Lord Jesus, you won't be around. Please don't even bother.
Oh man, that's cold.
I need like the winning lotto numbers.
Pregnant pause for that. Shout to
Richard,
BMT.
what you think about this manosphere, my friend? So the manosphere started off trying to help these guys and do this and do that, and like I said, some of the things they saying were kind of true, and some are just kind of crazy.
In my four-cornered lonely room, watching Kevin Samuels
reruns
go from Cologne to how to wipe your butt for black men to black women need to step their game up. I excoriated him many times in the comments about his hairline and suggested stop getting your hairline pushed back. I still have mine.
I do a dude before. I was like, your hairline's going so far back, it's running down the back of your neck.
That's your next level, Darnell. That right there. Get that level.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm getting worried now.
He's wearing a yarmulke.
That ain't no yarmulke with a brim. That's real.
But here, I say the same. I'll say the same thing to you, Richard. That I would say to your other people. Go ahead.
If I could answer the question, and then I'll put it in park. You know how I get. Kevin was wrong. His approach was wrong. He elevated himself to a certain level as a retail salesperson in a department store, and then became this voice of reason in our community about how black women should aspire to men like him. And he died I just found a parking space. He died ignominiously. He died shamefully. With the woman that he didn't know. Now look, bros, I'm old. Richard Pryor made a joke about coming and going at the same time. Ha ha ha. But I don't want to die with a stranger that I picked up from the app or off the street. I'd rather die alone.
He was with a woman. You ever heard the 911 call?
So when they find your body, you'll be bloated with gas and half decomposed and leakage all over the place, and that's just a lovely sight.
Ronin, I'll be gone.
You won't care who has to clean it up, right?
My plan is to crawl underneath somebody.
Exactly, Nova. Ew.
I'm just going to crawl under somebody's porch.
That may sound a bit morbid for Nova.
And here's the thing, Nova. He's in Thailand. It's very hot there. It's very hot in Thailand. So you can imagine how fast your body will decompose.
You guys
bloat with gas and all this other stuff, and it'll start dissolving in his mattress.
Talking all that shit.
Do you have somebody that checks on you periodically? Do you have somebody that comes to your room and checks on you, like a cleaning lady or something?
I wouldn't want to die like Kevin Samuels. Is my point. I'm making jokes, Nova Star. I really appreciate your input in this.
But when you say die like Kevin Samuels, how is it that you die?
Hey, Kevin Samuels had a chick with him.
Yeah,
he did. She called 911.
Kevin Samuels was getting it in when he died. That's the best way to go for a man. What you mean?
And he was changing the world. When you say you don't want to die like that, he touched a lot of people. So when you say, what do you help
me out here, bro. Help me out here.
I have a question.
Well, no, I was just saying, like the woman that was with Kevin when he passed, she called 911, and you can hear that she's doing chest compression. She's trying to keep them ticking. And
that's the tape you heard.
Yeah, the 911 call when the 911 operator pretty much put it on hold.
Who's got the more you know button?
Nova Star, I'd like to hear your input on how Kevin died. And
I heard the same tape, and they weren't sending the paramedics, from what I understand. Wasn't that what we heard? Trippy?
Yeah,
they weren't sending the paramedics when they needed to. which I
Perfect
thought was
timing.
highly unusual.
Perfect timing. Right as I sent that message.
Your name, America Talk Live LA. Were you paparazzi?
No, I was not. I had an internet radio station in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was just
right outside of LAX, across from the In-N-Out.
Oh.
In the Paradise building.
Goodness, I know exactly where you were.
I think I might have met you, Nova Star.
Oh shit!
I don't think so, but maybe you might have caught me running around out there. But the likelihood, I don't know.
Oh my goodness!
Leave my woman alone.
I don't get like that. Yeah. No. Wait. Okay. I should clarify.
You're already messing with a like triangle.
You might have come to the station before with folks who have insights and connections to Hollywood, because that's kind of who we had come through there. That's what I mean by that. Not like in some weird way. I apologize.
No. Thank you. Yes, I did.
It came across in a weird way, brother.
I apologize. For that.
Yeah. I know you.
I've been drinking and smoking too, and been thinking
all alone in your four walls and waiting to blow out and die.
My question is, I wish I could find this video, and I'll just give it a description of it. There's a little kid. The mom has a pot, and she says, "Hey, the pot is hot. Hand, the pot is hot." And the kid's not there. He said, "God damn, the pot is hot." And then he realizes. I say that to say this. We always talk about how Kevin Samuel said something. For years, people were saying, "Hey, this is wrong. Hey, this is wrong." And it wasn't until he screamed and said, "You crazy, you lunatic," that people listen. So is it sometimes do we have to say things in a non-conventional way for people to listen?
Non-conventional?
Like I gotta yell and scream and when they say it's not it's not how you say it, it's what you say.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta get loud. If you've got any kids, then sometimes like, that's hey, spiciness. Don't do that.
Yeah. Man,
what's wrong with a little bit of spice once in a while? Why is everything gonna be candy coated?
That's very true. That's very true. Like if I had a kid, and like a family member passed or whatever, I'd be like, "Let's go there. You're going to look at the casket. You're going to touch the dead body. You're going to know what it's like." No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't be that mean. You know what I would do though? I would buy a bedroom set that's all sharks, right? And I would secretly put the bedroom set up in a kid's room without them knowing, and then I would show them the movie Jaws, and then I would send them to bed early.
Trippy gas.
So he could walk in the room and start screaming and be like, no, they're not real sharks. You're okay.
You're a sick, cruel man, Trippy Cass.
He is. Why do you think he's got a clown avatar?
I'm so disappointed in you, my friend.
It's just a joke. I wouldn't really do it. I mean, I don't think I know it.
Look, let's put a climax to the end of the red pill thing here on. Okay, here's what I want to put out there. Amongst the fact that they're all a bunch of homosexuals, has anybody ever thought about that they're trying to get more access to more men, especially the men who go MGTOW? I always notice that the men who go MGTOW, they start going so MGTOW, they start going the other way, if you catch the drift.
Clubs. Yeah.
So, you got to always remember that those gay men are women's.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
There you go.
Well, Miss Nova Star, I think MGTOW, though, they were doing that long before the red pill got real popular. So you always had those, men, some of the men, not all, but some of the MGTOW men going that direction, if y'all catch it.
Brother, what's that?
Brother,
Go ahead, Darnell.
What? Yes. So, but as far as the red pill, I just want to correct one thing. I don't think it's dead. Like you guys are saying, and you guys have brought up a few names from the Christian, the 80s Christian days of Swagger, like the Bakers, Copeland,
right.
Robert Tilton. Just like them, they're still around. And I mean, granted, they took their L's and lumps, but they're still around though. Like you turn on the 700 Club, they're still there. They're still grifting. And I think the same thing is going to happen to the red pill. They're not going to go anywhere. There's always, as long as you have disgruntled men, and I said this, I think the last time you guys had this topic, but just look at certain groups like the Klan. How many times have the Klan died? They've died like, I've lost count, but they always resurrect. And I think the red pill, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be down now, but someone else is going to come up, almost like they reinvented the wheel.
Yeah, they'll rebrand it.
We see you in the background, Leonard. We'll bring you up in a second.
And I'm playing this because to let you know, this is what I was talking about. And this is what I think that people didn't like Kevin Samuels for. I think the first 2 times she says it is how things were. And then the third time is what he did.
You don't say people numbers. It's hot on the bottom. Don't drop it. Not all the time. It's hot on the bottom. It's hot on the bottom.
And I say that because that's sometimes that's the only time people listen. And people got mad at hit the delivery. And I'm like, sometimes you had to do delivery because when you talk, nobody listens.
Yeah, but if she yelled at me like that and said it's hot on the bottom, I would think she was joking. You know what I mean? Like
it's hot.
You know what fathers used to do? Like the baby boomer fathers. There's a perfect show that was showing a father sitting in a chair having a drink.
Oh, and, the electric.
Yeah, and the mother was trying to stop the son from sticking his finger in the electric socket. Like, no, son. He goes, no, let it happen.
That's the same.
Let it happen.
Exact. Yeah.
Just let that shit happen. He'll learn from that mistake. That's you get what I'm saying? Stop trying to warn them. Let it happen.
Has anyone here not been electrocuted?
I think this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one right there. No. Let them have. Let it happen.
Watch them do it.
Yeah,
he's like, nah, go ahead, son.
You go ahead.
The whole house goes dark.
He's like, Matt, what did you learn?
Well, see, that's the thing. You're not going to be alive to learn, especially with American 120 power. You ain't going to be alive to learn.
Man, please, plenty of people have been shocked and lived.
Has anyone here not been electrocuted or had a concussion?
Me, I have. I mean, but I use the example of the hot.
Okay. Hey, real quick, guys. Real quick. Nova has to go. Let her do some closing remarks, and we're gonna bring Leonard up to replace her.
I have to finish. I have to finish the other part of the project. I'm kind of coming up on a deadline now. So
yeah.
So my closing statement is: everyone like and subscribe to everybody who's come here. Ronin Travels for Fearless, and the other gentleman who
Black Man Travels.
Black Man Travels. Thank you. And also, if you want to check me out, I am School of Thought, and I'm the teacher. Nova Star, and that's THOT, not THOUGHT.
And you teach thoughtism, Nova?
Yeah,
I've dropped your link in the chat.
And my final thought is that it's a cult. Okay, it's a cult. 101, and buyer beware, gentlemen. It has been absolutely wonderful being with you again, and I will be back.
Yes,
so
you
all
will.
of you have a wonderful evening.
Yes, you will.
Hey, Nova, can I ask you one last question before you go?
What's up?
What is the word of culture?
The what?
The root word of culture.
Cult. Yes.
Cult.
Yeah.
That's right. Cult.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Brain Buster. Richard.
She's not
that's his one. Hey, that's his one last brain cell he had today. So that's it. He's good.
I know.
All right. Good night.
Was someone sending a what is
the noise in the background? Yeah. Are you crushing ice over there or something? Are you crushing ice, Richard?
Trippy Cass is dragging someone across the floor with a chain.
I mean,
no, I don't think it's Trippy Cass.
I'll tell people about what I do at night.
Let's go ahead and welcome our next panelist, Leonard Ray. What's going on? Or is it
Roy?
It's like it's Roy. Oh, sorry.
No problem.
I couldn't see it. Go ahead.
Yeah. The sticking something in the lights in the electrical socket thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a pathway to manhood when I was growing up.
Exactly.
It was a pathway to manhood.
We can tell.
You know,
the kid goes in the kitchen.
One at
right?
a time. One at a time. One at a time. Come on.
because I never forget when I did it. Because I grew up in the 70s, born in the 60s, baby boomer, grew up in the 70s. Mom sewed, had the machine, you flip the whatever it is, and the sewing machine pop up all, that sewing table by Singer, if you all remember, if you all old like that. Anyway, and she had these long needles she used to do stuff with, and me being the curious kid I was like, okay, why the electricity? They say it flows through wires, but why if it flows through wires, why is it not leaking out the wall? If it flows, water flows and it leaks.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my 5-year-old mind, I'm gonna put a hole in it, and so I can see electricity leak.
Ooh.
Yeah. Stay.
And that's how he got as tall as he is.
Yes, in the kitchen. Those are moments in people's life that you never forget.
Yeah.
Like when you get a boy that likes that particular girl and they're going to some type of dance and they get their dance cologne and they put it on, then they smack it on the downstairs area and you fry your nuts.
It burns.
You're not a man if you haven't done that. That's a pathway to manhood.
I mean, we had souvenir scars for a reason back then.
Exactly.
We were entitled to do things back then. You know what I'm saying? Hurt yourself.
Now look
Matter
at
of
it.
fact, don't come home with a broken bone, but you can come back scarred.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean,
you come back with a broken bone. That's a bill. That's a fucking problem.
Right. Now, you wanted boys to have fun. This is the most fun we had in the world. Give us some sort of wooden plank and a rim from a tire or a tire itself or enough bricks to stack up while we're bike riding.
Oh, yeah.
Ramp.
We're making a ramp. We're jumping.
That's it. Ramp. We're all jumping. And whoever got the cheapest made bicycle always lands in a frame break.
Yep.
So then they father had to take them to the bike shop for the guy at the bike shop because they did spot welding. So they had to spot weld their bike back together again. And you've seen all the discoloration in the spot welding. And
the paint wasn't right.
Right. And then after that, then we figure, we'll get a can of spray paint. And that's how we learned how to paint. And it didn't come out right because we didn't know anything about primer. So we had to learn. Everything was learning.
Learning on the fly, yep.
It was experience. Now, you look at kids today, they got elbow pads and helmets and reflective vests, clothing. I'm like, what about the fun part?
A good example of this, like the change in how we do things, is old cars, right? You go back far enough, cars would come with instructions on how to take everything apart in that vehicle and how to put it back together. But nowadays, it's like, if you buy an electric car, try taking a tire off of it and it still work when you put that tire back on. They got sensors in there. You know what I mean? Like, they're stopping us from even being able to fix certain shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's like when they... That's like when they had Jeeps during World War II. They would drop those boxes with a parachute. It hit the ground, right? Now, unless I'm wrong, the history of that little 4-wheel Jeep, that it was messed up because they kept flipping because they didn't have the wheelbase wasn't wide enough. It would take soldiers with all of the parts for that Jeep. It would take them 7 minutes to assemble a Jeep.
Should be something
That's
like that.
outstanding. That's really quick.
7 minutes. Now I would have to look it up to make sure it's like 7 or 17. It's somewhere along those lines.
Either way, that's impressive.
All the parts needed for that vehicle that you would use in the military, it didn't come with the paint, so you could paint the numbers on there and the battalion and the brigade and all of that. You had to. It took you longer to do that because you had to use a razor blade and cut through cardboard to make a stencil. you know, Alpha Company, 1st Brigade, 3rd Platoon. You had to cut stencils to spray paint the white spray paint. They may have come with the stencil.
So Leonard, answer this real quick, and I want to have a follow-up question with you because I know who you are, and we appreciate you coming on the panel. How do you feel? What was the deciding factor with the manosphere and why it's failing or has already failed?
Oh, it failed because, well, to not be insulting, it failed because they were a bunch of guys that just believed that they were entitled to get the woman of their desire at their doggone income level, and that's not it.
Expand on that a little bit.
Okay.
So it's not just about money. It's just not about money.
Right, I know, but it's like this here. For all of you all that seen that chick Kendra G.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you seen her appearance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thus and so. Or the what's that Glorilla? You seen her appearance. Or the other women that appear like that, right?
Yeah.
They think that they are entitled to get females with that appearance. Just because I make X amount of money, which money is not keeping a woman. Look at Jeff Bezos. Look at the Microsoft dude. Didn't they wives leave them?
Well, not exactly. They cheated on their wives.
But eventually,
men don't do that. Yeah. We're explorers. You think we're gonna fish in the same pond forever catching catfish? We might want to see about catching some bass or some trout.
Right.
But Bezos left his wife. It wasn't the other way around.
But let him finish. Let him finish real quick.
But the thing is this, money will not keep a woman. Mm-hmm. See, women are changers. They just innately changers. Right. I remember when I was a kid, I come home from school. My mom would be in the front room with my two sisters, and they were changing furniture all around. Right. And I'm sitting here like, what are y'all doing? Oh, the furniture been like this for 6 months. Yeah, it looks fine and everything fits. Why you change? And they move all the furniture around and they sit there trying to figure out how to make the furniture fit in a different order in the front room than the order it was in when it fit in the first place.
But Leonard, that's what God created a woman to be. You're supposed to give her a house and she makes it a home. You give her food and she makes a fucking meal. So that's exactly what that's exactly what you're explaining. They actually could not just sit there.
They're changing. Mm-hmm. They're not satisfied with is it broke, don't fix it. See, women are never satisfied with if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Men are. Mm-hmm. See, and I was telling someone earlier today. I said, look, a woman could come over here because I'm a bachelor. She could come over here, and whatever we do, she could leave and come back a month later. Everything she saw wherever it was at in this house a month ago is still going to be in that same position. Nothing moved. As of major move around stuff. It's little stuff that'll move around, like the vacuum, because I got a vacuum, the broom, this and that. But everything else pretty much stays the same. You haven't changed anything. Why should I? You ever thought about turning your bed this way? No, it fits this way.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm used to laying up against the wall or whatever. Like, I get that.
It's like, that's it. But that's what they do. They want to change and, be Bullwinkle. You want to see me pull a rabbit out of my hat? Presto. Ooh, wrong hat.
Hey, rookie.
So I got a follow-up question to that because we're talking about the manosphere and the different things that are going on, the infighting, the clout chasing. And I know you're a huge supporter of somebody we brought up earlier, which is Jay Rillo. That's how I know.
Oh, no, not a huge supporter. It's just I like him because he's funny.
What's that? Pottery wheel.
But
Yeah,
and
he needs to be a comedian because
Right.
he does not do anything right.
that's one of the things I brought up.
Well,
Because
yeah,
I've had him on the Andrew.
Now, hear me out on this. I'll be brief.
Okay.
He doesn't do anything right at all. He probably wasn't even born right.
So my question, Leonard, is this.
Let me finish. No. I got a question. I have a question for him. I just want to let him get out of his thing.
He was probably pulled out his mama's womb sideways. That's how wrong he is, right?
Damn.
But he always ends up getting exactly what he wants monetarily in the end. I'm like, how do you do that?
Exactly.
How did you get these morons to pay for you to take a trip to the Philippines?
Right.
And you're still there.
Right.
That's how I like him. He's funny.
Yeah. So, and you said it before. He should be getting better. I've had him on the Andrew show a couple times, and I challenged him. I say I hold people accountable, and I try to understand why people think a certain way. With the amount of travel he has, I was like, Jay Rillo, you should be getting better at traveling. But it seems like you are wanting to fail to not only appease your people that are supporting you, but you should be progressing in life. You should be learning. You can only make so many mistakes, like we talked about with sticking your finger in the socket. How many times you got to stick your finger in the socket before you know not to fucking put it in there anymore? You're going to keep on getting burnt or shocked. You get what I'm saying? So my question was, what do you think it is about Jay Rillo that, one, is the appeal, besides for, like you said, he's funny, to get all these other people to continue to support him and his habits? Is it just about entertainment at this point and wanting to see the crash out, and they're just willing to spend the money to see the crash out, or is it more than that?
You just answered your own question.
Well, I just want to hear from somebody that
they are willing to spend the money to see the crash out. Then it was this other guy. He tried to put me on the spot for the first donation drive thing, and I was just like, dude, I'm not a little common ghetto hellion. I mean, I can hit him with 20. It won't hurt me. So I hit him with 20. I said, now you hit him with 20. Matter of fact, I'm going to hit him with another 20. And why don't you just cash out me 20 back? Then we both gave him 20. Just the front on that guy, right? Dude just smoothly disappeared. But that was all that was about. I didn't care if you made the trip or not. But when I heard about the other one, it was like, whoa. Matter of fact, I just left a comment on one of the travel space people. I'm not going to say their name. On their video they posted up talking about Jay Rillo, wherever he's at right now, Thailand or whatever.
He's in Thailand for now.
And I said, you all are a bunch of drama queens. You all are supposed to be focusing on seeing other countries and getting wet. Right. And you all are focusing on drama with each other. I mean, are you all men or women? Inquiring mind wants to know.
Yeah, which falls in line with what we're talking about with the manosphere and why these guys always.
I mean, don't think wrong with being out of pocket. Is being in denial.
So go ahead, fearless.
Yeah, my
question
question would be this to you, brother. Why support the most idiotic people of us when you can have other people that you can support that bring something good? And I say that because what that does is make stupidity popular, and smart things that bring you content no one wants to watch. And I asked you that because you're one of the supporters of the stupid.
No, I'm not a supporter of the stupid. I supported his first little deal. That was so long ago. Can you tell me how long ago it was? Because I can't remember.
Probably about a year and a half ago is when he started.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I think.
Because I lost my channel since then for saying some stuff. I wouldn't repeat it.
Well, yeah, please don't.
I don't do that to people. Some people try to bomb other people's channel with words. I don't do that. I'll support anybody that they got their channel going. They still, I just got fed up with the small hats, so I went there. And yeah.
But I say in general, just recently he raised $1,200 to go
14.
Bangkok. Yeah,
$1,400 to make it to Bangkok, and he's already down to 200 within 2 days. That's insane. What do you do with $1,400 in Bangkok of all places?
Wait a minute.
Only have about 400 left.
My question is, why are the people sending that money? I mean, what is it? I just want to see him be stupid. I mean, I want to see him get a girl. I'm trying to understand what it is I'm sending money for him to do.
They want to see the crash out. They want to see him they want to see his confidence level go up to the point that he ends up in jail so they can laugh.
Man,
that's what it is.
So
I'm serious. They want,
we as people support.
Not we. Don't say we.
Those type of people. Whoever they are.
People. Yeah. It's a ghetto people thing.
So it's the hood guys, it's the street guys. They got the disposable income that they can kick him any kind of money they want. But basically, they want to be entertained since they can't possibly leave. Maybe they don't have passports or whatever. But they
maybe their criminal background,
yeah, and so
doesn't allow them to be a passport holder or something. Perhaps there's a lot of variables.
Yeah, we're just trying to understand his. Obviously, we don't get it.
Yeah, he's gonna do what he do. My thing is this: when you're back in Gary, which I would be ashamed to even say I'm from Gary, Indiana. I mean, what's the population? Like 30,000 now? Everything has left Gary. Not the last time, but I remember when I was visiting Chicago one time, we went to some casino around there and I saw this bar and it was closed by the food and something department. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all serve alcohol. How y'all closed by the the health department? What did y'all have up in there? A giant germ in the bathroom? Hi, my name is VD. Come in.
It begs to wonder. Everything's in bottles and glasses. So how do you get the health department to shut you down?
That's what I'm saying. Who has seen a bar shut down by the health department? How do you get the claps from a bottle of beer?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is, yeah, it's mind blowing. But the thing is this, it's like when you get back, okay, where are you going to stay and how are you paying your rent? Your life stuff. Because they're not donating money to him when he needs to pay rent.
Right.
Or he has a utility bill, but they'll donate him money to leave and go to all these different countries and crash out.
Right. So you think he's monetized enough that he's making enough money to pay for his cost of living?
No, he's not monetized enough. Look, it takes 10,000 views if you got a high CPM, I think that's what it's called. Right. It takes 10,000 views to make $100.
Yeah.
So y'all do the math.
No, we already know. That's why we're like, what?
Yeah. I mean, because I was monetized at one time, and sometimes my views had to carry over to the next month just for me to, make a couple of dollars. And it paid like 2 months of my cell phone bill. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Right. Go ahead, Fearless. Fearless, did you have any other questions?
No, that was just my question. It just surprises me how we are. And I think Richard, I know Richard, you talk about that pay for play, but that's how popular it is that you can have somebody like Jay Rillo get $1,200 for him to go somewhere for pay. 1,400. I'm sorry.
That was 13 before that.
I thought it was 1,000 myself, so I got it updated.
He did it twice. He did 13 once, and then he did 14 the second time. He ain't done it.
Are you freaking kidding me?
No, brother. He's done it multiple times, over $1,000 each fundraiser.
Can I step into this?
And I'm going to ask you something, Richard, and you can answer.
Because he had to spend
thing.
$1,000 on bills. He said he had to spend $1,000 on bill and $700 fucking camera. So he broke out $1,000 just to pay his bills and brought a camera before he even got on the plane. So then by the time he got to Thailand, he had so much money left. And then he was like, okay, if you guys want me to go to Bangkok, I'm short because I had to go ahead and spend this money on this bill. And I brought this $700 in some camera. He kept on saying he spent $700 on the camera to get better content. I'm trying to think. Well, when do you ever do an edit that you need a $700 camera?
My question to you, Richard, is this: because we're talking about Jay Rillo and people supporting him, but you were on a show yesterday where they say that a female host says that she hates passport bros. She dislikes them. She dislikes the black man. But she can name every show that she's on and every show that she listened to and every show that she chats on. You were on with the Femme man who despises Ronin and I, but that's all they talk about. So isn't this indicative of how it works? People say they don't like something, but that's all they talk about. They say you don't want to do the pay for play, but that's all they watch.
It happens.
That's the question. Leonard, I agree with you so much about what you've been saying, my brother. And I posted in the comments, there's a reason that hoes call those dudes tricks, not treats. The tricks. It's not a respectable term for men who monger. I went up on their channel, as I support your channel, to try to dissuade brothers from the concept of tricking as they travel. You know, the channel is called what it's called. I won't mention it here. I think I shouldn't. But the channel is called what it's called because that's what brothers are doing.
Yeah, we know this.
Black men are so frustrated in the States because perhaps they were raised by a single mom who hated their daddy, and they, embrace that hatred for a daddy, a black man, and that makes them angry towards other brothers and sisters, perhaps. I don't have the complete answer, but I can tell you what I've observed over the years.
But Richard, you got pushback. I heard your pushback when you tried to say that. What do the men have to look forward here to when you say you got the sexy reds and the gorillas and the fat women, and you just got pushed back like, oh no, this is how it's supposed to be. Even when you try to bring up facts, it's denied upon. So
you're absolutely right. I'm glad you were tuned in. I was tapped into both y'all channels. I figured I'd catch you on Thursday night. It's Friday night for me. And so I'd come and share some of my experiences over there if you're interested. The sister who started that channel, to me, is she's on the wrong mission. To me, Chris, I understand where he's coming from. He's struggling to date women. I'd be very open with him to have this conversation with him on his channel and the other channel. He's struggling with women. You and the brothers who come up here are not. You kind of get it. That I mentioned on that channel yesterday that women in Asia don't look at sex the same way as women in America. Men in America put sex on a pedestal. I mentioned on that show yesterday, a pedestal is as much a prison as is any small place. So when men put women on a pedestal just for the sake of sex, men get trapped into this mindset of what's called nowadays a manosphere. I asked this question earlier in the chat. I don't know any brothers that I've ever met who wants to be around a lot of dudes all the time. I did that in my mid-teens. We had our gangs, but as we, evolved into our latter teens, we started like gravitating towards women. So the concept of a manosphere is so sus to me. When you look at trap music and all the guys with their shirts off and their pants hanging low, showing weapons, that's sus to me. And so we do have this sus situation in America. I'm glad I'm not there. There are lady boys here, people who've kind of gotten past the whole sexual thing. But America is struggling with that. A black man, the easiest way to tear down a black man is to say that he was with another black man in a physical, dare I say, sexual way.
Well, hold up. Because hold up, Richard. Then I got to call you on something.
All of our leaders have been torn down. And y'all
Richard, hold up. Richard, hold on.
I got to
for
call
a
you on something because you praised the very person that tried to say that with me. And I'll say this. Yes, you do. You do fucking praise him all the time. I'll tell you who it is.
What person?
OB.
Who?
You. OB, you're such a great guy. You're this. And that's the same thing he tried. You, Richard, that's what you do. OB, you got wisdom and knowledge. And that's the same.
You feel it. Come on, say the word.
I said it. You praise OB.
I do.
And he said the exact same thing about me. He tried to demasculine me. And you know what for? I'm in Dallas. Austin came to Dallas. I interviewed Austin.
And you are too, Phyllis. And you are too.
I am what?
And you do too. And I'd like to bring you brothers together because y'all would agree.
What I'm saying is,
but you just said, you too, bro.
Hold up. Listen. No. What you just said is the way we try to tear black men down is by trying to demasculate them by calling them gay. And I said that's the same thing your buddy that you praise so much, OB, does. Because when I said that when I interviewed Austin when he was here, he tried to say, "Oh, you're this year old and you shouldn't be doing this." And I said, "Man, you're dumb because you can learn something from anyone." I guess he wanted to drop. So Leonard, to let you know what I'm talking about is
he'll be back. You know he got that bad internet.
What I said is you can learn something from anyone. And so when Austin was here, what I learned from Austin was this. The comparison I made is when you seen Mike Tyson fight Paul Logan, you know who got paid more? Paul Logan. Because he understood how the internet worked. He understood how to market itself. And I may not agree with what Austin Holloman does. He's half my age, and I don't have to agree with anything he does. But the one thing I could agree with what he does is I could agree how he marketed himself. He branded himself. He became the name and the thing for the passport bros. He's a young man that's living solely off of his YouTube. And I said, man, I said, that's crazy how you can get your shirts, get your ebooks, get all of this. I said, I never thought about branding myself like that. I was using YouTube as a game. So when somebody tries to say, oh, you know, what can you learn from someone? I say, man, I can look at anyone younger. Mr. Beast is 27 years old. And if
that's
Mr.
the problem.
Beast,
I'm back, but that's the problem because you're looking at this as a game. And I suggested this to both you and Ronin on some weeks back. Bro, you in the internet. Ain't no game out here.
No, what I'm saying, Richard, you missed what I was saying.
Yeah, he did.
Your OB was trying to say, oh, you gay for hanging out with this dude or interviewing this dude. And he was like, I can't learn. And I've traveled. You know, he's all this dude that thinks he travels and does all this stupid stuff.
Your choice.
He says he can't learn something from someone. And I'm saying I can listen to someone and say, man, I love the way you're doing that. I can emulate that. It doesn't mean I have to like everything that somebody does, but I can learn. Just like I don't have to like Jay Rillo, but I can look back and say, Jay Rillo, man, how are you doing this?
We get that about you.
But I'm saying you are praising the same thing you just said you don't like.
I disagree with you. I might have missed some of that. I'm having some internet trouble. But the fact is, I praise you both. I praise Ronin. all the brothers who come up on this panel, including Darnell, despite what y'all talk about with his appearance. And I don't shave every day. I don't cut my hair every day. I just cut my hair into a whole weird configuration because I grow hair.
But here's the thing, man. You keep praising someone who doesn't even listen to you. I listen to him. So when and it makes no sense because what you were saying was, I moved to Thailand because it's economically better. And he's like, oh, you can't. He keeps going on, well, you can't make this much money. And they don't have the concept that if I'm in Dallas and I got to pay $2,500 for rent, it doesn't matter that I make $100,000 because
I've lived
my
in Los
rent
Angeles
just
for 25 years, bro. There's nothing you spent anywhere in the state of Texas that is as expensive as California. And I lived in LA.
And so listen to me. So what I'm saying is you're trying to argue with somebody who doesn't understand it. If you say you went to Thailand and you say, man, I'm living in a rooftop hotel and it's only costing me $500, their argument is you only making 50. Well, that $50,000 in Thailand is like making $200,000 somewhere else.
And you know what? That's the thing that people don't understand. And it's not my thing, okay? I'm in the good old USA. I done been around the world. I'm good. I've seen it. Been there, done that. Got the mug, the T-shirt, and the pencils. California, yeah, it's very expensive. Texas, that state as a whole, the property taxes in Texas, if you're a homeowner, is higher than the national average, which means it's higher than in the state of California. Now it's ridiculous. It's hold on. Can I finish?
$15,000. No, I'm agreeing with you, brother. It's like
okay. Now hold on. Let me finish. It's the prices of the actual properties in California that is insane. There is no reason a doggone 1,500 square foot home should sell for $1.2 million in Compton. How?
Something I don't know. Because it's California, Leonard.
I know it's California, but I'm like, that is ridiculous. A $1.2 million home is 1,500 to 1,700 square feet, and it's in Compton, where NWA came from. Now, I was watching the movie right now. That's what got me thinking about Compton.
What do you mean by that there, Leonard, that it's in Compton? That's an historically black neighborhood.
It don't matter about historically black. It's a ghetto.
Wait. Oh, wow. You think that?
I know that.
I heard it changed a lot.
Okay, hold.
Okay.
Now let me explain something. When people make music that reflects their reality that they see, right?
No.
Now,
but go ahead.
Okay,
Facts.
you can say no.
Facts.
You can say no all day long.
Facts.
Now,
that's why rap is what it is. Gangster rap is exactly what it is.
Hold tight. Let me get this out because this is a doozy. Now, you all are familiar with drill music, right?
Very much.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know where drill music came from?
Atlanta, down south somewhere. Where?
Inglewood, south side of Chicago, my old hood.
Oh, it's trap music that comes from Atlanta.
Trap music comes from Atlanta.
Okay. See, I'm not a real rap guy, but I understood.
Yeah, me either. But drill music, your Chief Keefs and the rest of them, Lil JoJo's, they're unaliving each other over lyrics and doing stuff like going to cemeteries and urinating on other people's loved ones' headstones and stuff like that. All of that comes from my old neighborhood. Okay. Now you get to talking about Larry Hoover, gangster disciple, ain't never getting out of jail. You can compare him to who was that dude out there that got lethal injection? What was his name? Real big buff dude.
Yeah, the Crip.
Made a movie about him. Jamie Foxx played him. Anyway,
Tookie Williams.
there you go. Yeah, Tookie Williams. Nah, Stanley Tookie Williams. He's comparatively the Larry Hoover of what? Chicago. And Larry Hoover is from where? Inglewood. Grew up down the street around the corner from Larry Hoover. That's my whole hood. Inglewood is a ghetto. It's a dump. Okay? Inglewood and Compton are brother and cousin or sister and cousin communities.
Sad to hear you say that, Leonard.
It's sad, but it's true. The least gangsterous person that came out of Compton was DJ Quick. You listen to his music.
Sad to hear you say that.
Listen to his music. Now you go over to the East Coast. They got a conglomeration that is of rappers that got together and made a song called Self-Destruction. That was in 1986.
I'm headed for self-destruction.
They were trying to warn urban Black America. Urban Black America didn't listen. So it went from that to, dope man, to my mind playing tricks on me, to
I don't want to go there.
I'm selling this, selling that, to Uzi sprays and lays, money cars and hoes, all the nigga knows, and all this is ridiculous. You never saw Luther Vandross and what was that other dude that dressed just like him? Did Jam Tonight?
Oh God,
Freddie Jackson.
Yeah,
you never saw Luther Vandross and Freddie Jackson beefing? They was too busy getting paid.
They were beefing. They beefed.
They beefed.
They beefed.
But okay.
They went guns out, but I get you.
Exactly. Nobody died. Tupac and Biggie died over what? BS.
But Leonard, to say that Compton is ghetto is such a derogatory thing to say about all the Black folks that I've met from Compton who aren't gangbangers, who aren't Crips and Bloods, who have families that were raised there.
Okay.
I know y'all all heard about the Palisades fires and all the rich white folks whose houses got burned up. But there's a place called Altadena. There's a place called Altadena.
Well, I just looked up the crime rate, and it's 2.3 times higher than the national average.
Bang.
Where? LA or
Compton, California?
Bang.
City of Compton.
And so it's comparing it to Linwood, Paramount, Southgate, Carson, Gardena,
where it's always been. It hasn't improved at all. That's the same areas.
Young brothers.
And let me tell you something about the city I was born and raised in, Chicago. Let me get this out. Now I'll be brief. If you add up all of the unlifings of unlifing blacks in Chicago, add that whole sum together for 10 years, it surpassed the 100 years of blacks that were unalived during the whole 100-year Jim Crow era. Facts.
Wow.
Facts.
That's why they call it. That's why they call it Chirac.
That's what they call it, Chirac, because Chicago, in the same amount of time, had twice the amount of casualties as the Iraq War did during the Iraq War. That's why they started calling it Chirac.
But isn't that true of every American city, my brothers, per capita?
No, that's true of every American Democrat-run city where you have the Democrats that think they are above black people. They're lying to black people like they're their friend, but they're setting them up for failure so that they have to doggone bow to them all the time. Giving them the victim mentality.
That rabbit hole. I am not a victim. My parents come from the Jim Crow South. They were not
right.
victims.
Mine too.
if they were
I'm no
victorious.
different, bruh.
We're from the same era, you and me. Trust me.
Bruh, yeah, bruh. Before you go all the way there, do you know I come from a family of 5? 4 are retired Chicago police officers from Inglewood. From Inglewood. Inglewood, what? Hold on now. Inglewood wasn't always a ghetto. Inglewood turned it to a ghetto. Just like Compton was not always a ghetto, it turned into one.
So
you still have people that are living in Compton that are hoping for Compton to revert back to what Compton was when Compton was great. They're hoping.
I had the pleasure of having the mayor of Compton as a guest to my radio station back when I lived in LA several years ago. Those are our hoods, fellas. I don't want to get too far off track. Went down a rabbit hole, perhaps. Let's talk about the fact that brothers want to escape America. Passport brothers. Want to get out of America. Yeah. Maybe the veterans, a gentleman like Leonard, a gentleman like Ronin, Darnell, no doubt. But there are parts of us who just feel like, okay, y'all served y'all duty, salute. But I don't got to stay here because in the immortal words, I thought about it today. I can't call his name now. He said, God bless America. No, Isaiah Wright, Reverend Isaiah Wright, goddamn America. And so there are brothers who want to escape. And I mentioned this on the show yesterday, Fearless. We want to get out of it. There's some of us who just
get out of what?
That's what I'm saying. Escape what?
Escape what? The one thing you don't understand about veterans, we could hate the fuck out of our situation, but we're never going to hate America because we fought for it.
Exactly.
We might leave it. We might have a discrepancy with it, but at the end of the day, the reason
Ronan,
why America is what it is. Here's the thing. But what I'm trying to make you understand is veterans might leave, but we still don't hate America. We might hate the situation in America, but we didn't risk our lives for a piece of land and a country in the name of the country just because. That would make it fruitless. Why would somebody risk their lives to be a fruitless existence?
But so
yeah, I mean, especially we who served in combat. We combat veterans.
Facts.
Especially us.
That's a nice jacket.
Especially us. You don't get a combat action badge unless you were in a war zone.
Then you turn around and say, I hate America after you do it.
Exactly.
You ain't never going to hear that come out nobody's mouth that did that.
Ronan, you're leaving America soon.
Yeah, I am. In April. I'll be in the Philippines for at least 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is. It's like, now America is so great of a country that people can hate it and talk crap about it. But it's funny how many people never leave it though. Ain't it though?
Mm-hmm.
But you got how many? You got how many immigrants border jump to get here,
and don't ever want to leave.
Don't want to, and especially when it comes to Black Americans, and now I'm finna preach. When it comes to Black Americans, a lot of Black Americans are so twisted in the brain that they will allow a non-FBA, foundational Black American, to come into the Black American space posing, cosplaying to be Black, and they're not. They have nothing to do with this country that goes all the way back to slavery, Civil War, or anything. Joy Reid, she's a child of immigrants. Shirley Chisholm, that started the Congressional Black Caucus, 1972, I think it was. She is a child of people that immigrated to America. Your parents immigrate to America. You become successful in America, and now you hate America. Elon Omar, the one that married her brother, had babies. Talk to me quick. Don't talk to me slick.
I like that. We're all immigrants, bro. When it comes to
bro,
not even. Don't even try that.
No, don't even try that. Don't even try that one.
Y'all are not immigrants?
No.
Leonard?
Nobody is an immigrant. That family bloodline goes back 100 years. Hundreds of years. In order for you to be an immigrant, that means that you went from one place to another and established yourself at that place. That's an immigrant.
So black people didn't do that. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, so, well, where did the Europeans come from? Out of Caucasus Mountains in Germany?
I said in America, we're all immigrants, my brother.
How far are they? Hold on. Caucasus Mountains. How close are they to Sicily? How close are they to Sicily? You know Sicilians are black, don't you? Kinda ish. Sorta. Kinda. That's the reason those in France consider the Sicilians to be their N-words of the French people. Did you know about that?
You're eggplants is what you are in Sicily. You're an eggplant. Darnell.
And what color is the eggplant?
I just certified. That's all I wanted to do.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Now they had them. I distinctly remember a commercial that was run by Dominic's grocery store, where as a black person, they had different people turn it into produce. They had a black person, and it turned into an eggplant, and they made a big stink about it, saying it's racist. And they took that commercial down and reshot the whole commercial.
AT&T did the same thing back in the late 70s, early 80s when it came to early cell phone service. And they represented Africa with an ape. We know these stories. We should. My point being, I want to get back on track. Passport bros, guys like Austin Holloman, guys like BMT, the other BMT, guys like Richie Mack, they're just wanting to express the fact, in my belief, as an expat, living abroad, that there's something possibly better, and I cannot begrudge them for that.
Right,
Can't be mad at them for that.
I wouldn't either. It's better for them. Where would I rather live? Here, on the outskirts, like 40 minutes outskirts of Atlanta, or would I love to live in the city of Chicago? This is better for me. This is better for me. All the time I've been on the stream, you haven't heard one gunshot. I can guarantee you. It's 1:25 a.m. in Chicago, and it's getting lit up. It's Friday night, Saturday morning. It's getting lit up.
And Richard, I'm with you. I don't begrudge them guys. I think that can show something that people have never done. That's why I can't understand on those other channels that's what they talk about so negatively. And I'm like, you're talking about guys that have just gone and they've traveled. They've seen more countries than most of the people have to, especially at that young age, and not being in the military, just doing it without military, traveling with the military.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm for that. You're young. Have fun. Live your life. But just remember, you have to get yourself set up in something, whereas you have funds that are going to take you through your golden years. Don't forget about that, because it's like this here.
No, you don't.
Huh?
No, you don't.
You don't? You don't need funds to take you through your golden years?
It'll work itself out, brother.
No. That's a wrong answer.
Yeah, that's wrong, brother.
Nothing just works itself out.
Yeah, it does.
No, it does not.
Explain that to me, because there's a lot of people.
Yeah, please tell me.
It's going to work this out.
I need to understand how you were in Thailand. No. He lives in Thailand. So why are you in Thailand if you didn't have to move over there because of income?
I didn't have to move over here because of income. I chose to move here because of income. because my dollar goes further. I lived in LA.
But if you didn't have to worry about it, and by predetermination, we're going to have
Ronin.
money.
I hear you. Good question. But I lived in LA for 25 years. 25. I never paid less than $1,800 a month in the entire time I was there. Period. And this is back from 99. So you can't talk to me about cost of living and how to figure out where you should land to make things work out for you, because you're not here yet. No one on the panel, perhaps other than Leonard, is here yet.
Don't single me out as I'm the only one that is here, because I'm quite sure some of these other brothers that's on here, they are where they want to be.
What are you discounting that I have not affected?
They are where they want to be financially and living their lives.
Hey, so Leonard, that part, my brother, where they want to be living their lives. And what do you have at all? I've asked Fearless and Ronin, what do you got left? You just got your life. You might have a child, Fearless does, a baby. Ronin, he got grown kids. This is all we got left. So the path for bros.
Don't put me in your box. Please don't put me in your box. I am not willing to go in that box.
Yeah,
well, the thing is this, you have to have money to sustain yourself. And as we age, we start having, well, not start having, because I messed up my own, I messed up my own joke. It's somebody I met when I first got old, and their name was Ailment. You know, and they would tap me on the side of the shoulder, and I'm like, what the hell? How you get in my house? Who are you? Hi, my name is Ailment. You're old. Now you're going to be hanging out with me. You get ailments when you're old. I got ailments right now. I got to go into the VA hospital on the 24th of next month to get some stuff done. I got a box of, I got to take stuff over here that they done sent. I'm like, oh my God, because we have to put you under and we got to, okay. So ailments, when you get old, ailments. Now, can you imagine if I was relying on YouTube totally in some other country and I've got ailments? How am I going to get that taken care of medically? I'm definitely not going to get it taken care of in the United States. And just think about this, as you will. The rapper, the late great Eazy-E, went into the hospital with a chronic cough. 30 days later, he was in the upper room.
Yeah, I'm not Eazy-E, bro. Yeah, I'm not Eazy-E. And
I know you're not. I'm just, bro. I'm not saying anybody is Eazy-E. What I'm saying, bruh, I'm making a point of a person that did not get regularly checked out at any type of medical facility, at least go once a year. They weren't doing that. They were young. He was 31 years old. You know, when you're young, you think you're invincible. You're never going to get sick. The last thing on your mind is health insurance. It's like, I don't get sick. I get broke. I wrap it up with some duct tape and a stick, and I keep on pushing. I'm tough. That's the young folk mind. Eventually, your ass is gonna get old like me. And when your ass get old like me, shit's gonna start happening.
Let Richard go real quick. Go ahead, Richard.
To my good brother Leonard, I'm not on any medication. I don't go to doctors. I'm healthy. I have ways that I treat myself when I have issues. And you know, one of the most important lyrics I heard from Damian Marley, man, I healed them broken bones in the mud with wet mud, meaning that we know how to heal ourselves. So for me, I don't confront those issues like about getting old. I still feel invincible at 67. I'll be 68 this year. I still feel invincible. Not like anyone on the panel, younger than me. I think most of y'all are. to challenge me on. I
mean,
still believe
that's a beautiful thing. Are you getting your colonoscopies to get checked to make sure that you don't have what has been wiping black men out, colon cancer?
Does anybody want to hear my answer?
Yeah.
Are you pausing for dramatic effect or what? What's the answer?
No.
Of course it's no.
Lord
You can tell by the pause it was no.
Meaning that no, I don't want a colonoscopy.
Lord Jesus.
Well, nobody wants a colonoscopy, but I'm like, you know what I mean? Come on now. Nobody wants that. But
may I explain?
Being safe, it's better to be safe than sorry.
You're only safe in baseball, Leonard.
Right. You know what?
Oh my goodness.
Now, let me tell you a short 60-second if that story. A woman that I was dating, she thought she was safe. I thought something was wrong because her breasts were two different sizes. Okay. She went to a funeral. She ended up getting the doggone cocoa. And that doggone progressed breast cancer. She didn't know she had it because she wasn't going to the doctor. 18 months later, she was out of here.
So if you're not getting your colon checked, you're not getting your prostate checked.
Thank you.
Safe in baseball.
Okay. Well, go walk around.
Richard, I think he was a smart man, brother. But
I'll be
Hold on, Leonard. Hold on, Leonard.
I'll be 68 this year. What y'all talking about?
But that doesn't mean anything. I used to think you were a smart man, but you saying some of the stupidest shit I ever heard, man. Because what you do is
number one and number two killer, prostate and colon
cancer. It doesn't
cancer.
matter how safe you are. What you do is you take precautions to make sure that things aren't done. For instance, when I went to the doctor and I have my prostate checked and they do the PSA, S&P. And, I was like, well, man, if next year it goes up, what happens? And he said, the only people that die from prostate cancer are the people who do not get checked. He said, because when we can find it out, we find it out so early that we can treat it and you're cured. The people who die from it are the people like you that never get checked. And all of a sudden, when you do get checked and if something happens to you, it's too late. So why would you wait until it's too late? Why would you it's not like you get a replay, like it's a game, like, oh, I died this time, I get to come back and do it again. You got one
I've
life.
had 3 high elevated PSA tests.
Jeez.
In 4 years.
Up in your guts. All up in your guts, huh, Ronin?
That's just in the pee cup. I pee all the time. But guess what? I go to the VA all the time. I'm always being monitored.
Mm-hmm. And see, I am so fickle with it. Say if I was to get up right now and I stub my toe on the end table. If it's still hurting in the morning, I'll go to the emergency room. Ow, hurt, owie. It hurt, fix, ow, hurt, ow. What you do? Stub my toe. X-ray, ow, hurt, pain, foot.
And I'm gonna tell you why you should have done that.
I used it all.
Let me tell you why. When I was a teenager, I stubbed my toe. I limped around on it for almost 2 weeks until it started to heal itself. But I literally broke my toe.
Mm-hmm.
And walked around on it like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah, my hand was slammed in a door, right? I let it heal itself. Do you know that if I could put my thumb up like this, and if I turn it back, it'll be a 90-degree angle? No one's thumb joint's supposed to bend at a 90-degree angle. But that's what happened. Why? Because I was young, I was dumb, and I was invincible. I'll just tape it up. It'll be all right.
Leonard, is Leonard younger than me?
Yes, I am. I'm 62 years old.
Jeez. Yeah.
You'll
be all right. You're going to be all right.
I know I'm going to be all right.
Yeah,
you'll be all right more than you. But fellas, it is 4:18 time for the live, and we're going to shut this down. So we want to have closing comments from the people on the panel, and we'll do it in reverse order. Leonard was the last to join. So Leonard, you can be the first to give your closing remarks. And then we'll go
Okay.
ahead and shut that down. We appreciate you joining the live, by the way, brother. For real.
Take care of yourself, right? And for the veterans, keep an eye on things as of that jab, because if it's deemed to be a toxic substance, you can go back and you can get your doggone, you'll get at least 10% out the deal. Because the main goal is to have these license plates on your car.
Facts.
Yeah,
I need that.
Those license plates mean you don't pay property taxes. And if you go to get a new vehicle, you don't pay sales tax on the vehicles. A lot of perks that comes with that 100%. Okay. And for the veterans that are over the age of 53, whatever rating you have, it cannot be dropped for any reason. So do not believe them if they say,
I'm permanent and total anyway.
See, that's what. See, we in the same club. Utilize that. Utilize all of that health care and everything. Now, as of the travel bros doing what they do, okay, cool. Austin Holloman, I applaud him. He's young. He's living his life. He's having fun. He's not 30 yet. If he does not get into a doggone career that comes with a pension by the time he's 35, 55, you got 20 years in, you got your time. Normally, people retire from their careers at 57, 58 years old and be like, I'm just going to kick back and wait on my Social Security to kick in. You see what I'm saying? That's important. You have to have a nest egg to take you through your golden years. If you do not, hey, I feel sorry
Richard
for
over
you.
there. He would like Richard over there.
We'll let Darnell go.
And one last thing, Austin Holloman, man, I wouldn't doggone bang his mom if my life depended on it. Did you see her? Did you see her? Oh man, Austin Holloman was born of a hood rat.
Oh my goodness, he went there.
His mother is a hood rat.
Wow.
She is, and she's in my age caliber. It's been here like, you are by Felicia all day long.
Damn.
Real talk. I'm done.
Thank you, Leonard. Appreciate you, brother.
Richard or Darnell, go, and then Richard. 1 minute. I don't want to put you on the
Yes,
clock.
sir.
Go ahead, Darnell.
Yes, sir. I just want to say thank you for having me. Always a pleasure, gentlemen. And
Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, of course, man. Anytime, bro. You know I gotta support you, man. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes,
It's going
sir.
towards my Philippines fund. I'm gonna start acting like Razor Ray. That's my Philippines fund.
There you go. There you go. But, you know what I'm saying? And Ronin, I just also want to say thank you, you know what I'm saying, for helping me out behind the scenes and things of that nature. I really appreciate it.
Oh, that's
I really
no
do.
big deal, bro. You know me.
Well,
I keep that
yes,
low
sir.
key. I don't even talk.
I know. I just had to say thank you, though.
You're welcome.
Anyway, but just to say, I just wanted to get on the topic or close on the topic. As far as the red pill goes, the red pill, like I said, there's good things, there's bad things about it. My opinion, I think the problems are the people that consume the content. It's because I wanted to ask the panel earlier today about did they feel that it was the creators, or is it the fault of the creators, or is it the people that listen to it? Are they really listening to it, or are they just looking at, say, in the Fresh and Fit? I just use them as an example, looking at the bimbos, and things of that nature, and then poking fun at the bimbos and stuff like that. Not really listening, not heeding the words about hitting the gym, being the best version of yourself, stop simping, and things of that nature. I mean, these are all things that you got to do. I'm not saying get out there and bang. One of the things I don't believe in Fresh and Fit about is banging. You got to bang 50 women before settling down. I think that's kind of stupid, because I mean, going out there having sex, that don't make you a man. You know what I'm saying? So, and who's to say, you're not going to find the right one at, say, I don't know, 10, or whatever number. But, as far as the red pill goes, I understand right now they're doing bad, but the truth is, I don't think it's going to go away. It's going to come right back. As long as you have disgruntled people or people that feel like they're left behind, there's always going to be a movement. There's always going to be some leader. I mean, just think of when the Klan collapsed. You had David Duke came out and he rebranded the Klan and this and that. 2017, I think it was. They said Klan memberships were back on the rise. So kind of like the Klan, I think the Manosphere. I think eventually they're going to rebrand and they're going to probably come back as probably bigger than what they were the last time. But yeah, they got to stop. I think overall, and I said it earlier in the super chat, was the accountability. They need to start taking account. The leaders of the Manosphere need to start taking accountability. You can't hold women accountable, hold everyone else accountable, and then here you are getting dating Asian hookers, getting them pregnant, dating all these models, and even
you skipped over all of South America and went right to Asia, man. I don't like you.
Well, I was making a reference to. I was making a reference to Fresh, part of the Fresh and Fit crew.
Oh yeah, the Chinese chick.
Yes, that's who I was referring to. You can't be a high value man and banging, pros. I mean, anybody can go get a pro. Having the 3 or 4 had a white woman up there. Everyone knows she even advertises her services that she charges men $3,000 a night to be with her. And here you are making videos of you and her going into a hotel room together. It's not society. And I wanted to say this, to Fresh and Fit. It's not society that or the Matrix or whatever you want to call it that's bringing you down. It's yourself. No one's telling you to get on that religious demographic, hate on that religious demographic, causing you to be demonetized. No one's holding a gun to their head telling them to do that. They're doing it anyway. And the sooner they take accountability, start taking their own medication, I think the better off they're going to be.
Okay. Thank you, Darnell. Richard?
All right.
No, I've got so much to say, but I'll try to keep it brief.
Can you?
I'm not sure, Ronin.
I mean, you so used to being over in that fembot room. I mean, I'm sorry.
Hey, before he does
male feminist.
Before you go, Richard, this is what I learned how to do, just so you understand.
Yes.
I just go there because I understand that you need to make lemonade out of lemons. So every time I go, if you haven't checked out my latest video, so you can see what I make for them, share some knowledge and maybe crack a few jokes. But with every podcast, it was always that one person. You know the type, the anonymous avatar, usernames like FemCell, OB32, chiming in with, "Oh, he just clout." Talk about this first. Sometimes you just make lemonade out of lemons. Go ahead.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
These are the conversations that need to be had. Phyllis, I love your second channel. You remind me of someone who I won't mention, who is doing similar types of content in terms of the persona. But man, you've got some great stuff over there. And to some of the conversation y'all had earlier about the fact that the positive stuff doesn't float to the top, that's YouTube. Welcome to YouTube. Yeah, I know you guys already know that. You're doing way more than I'm doing. I gave up because it just wasn't worth the effort for me to create my own persona and content to give it to them to pay me pennies in response. That's YouTube. I've been to their campus in Los Angeles on multiple occasions as a YouTube partner. They're stealing from all of us. They're taking all this content. It's the only reason they exist. But all of that aside, the fact is that Passport Bros are tapped into that money stream. YouTube is a money stream. Let's accept that. And everybody who comes up here, with some exceptions, are all wanting to at least sip off that money stream. Get a little, shot from that money stream. It's all good. What you guys are doing are the necessary conversations that need to be had, in my belief. That's why I come up and want to support. And I'm here for you every time. But the Passport Bros are doing a fizzle. Just what it is. And, you can begrudge them or not, but let them do their thing. Respect to Austin Holloman. The kid is growing up right before our eyes, traveling the globe in his mid-20s when his frontal lobe isn't even evolved yet. I get that you guys have traveled. I live abroad too. But in the end, the fact of the matter is, these are stories that need to be had for us as ADOS and FBA to understand that America ain't all that is cracked up to be. It ain't everything. And that there's so much more beyond America that can fulfill your life and your life goals. As a human, I came to Thailand to not be black anymore. I came to Thailand not to even be noticed. I just wanted to be somewhere where I could be a nobody and walk the earth. That's my thing. So when I come up, I come from that perspective.
You didn't just give us a closing for Kung Fu, did you?
Probably. Quite possibly.
This nigga said, I want to walk the earth. What the fuck? Okay, Kung Fu.
And a no thing. And a no thing. Just straight up like on some Kung Fu shit.
Grasshopper, man. Come on, brother. Grasshoppers in the house.
That's funny you say that, Phyllis, because I used to be called that on a radio show.
Until you can snatch the pee out of my hand. You do not leave.
Grandmaster of martial arts named Jerry Bell, who's also an incredible singer. But he's a grandmaster martial arts who used to call me his grasshopper. But yeah, I just want to walk the earth and experience life. And to all the Passport Bros out there,
you need to look up Ikigai.
I will. To all you Passport Bros, do your thizzle. Have fun. Live your life. I did in America. Love don't owe me nothing. I've had lots of fun, and I'm sure you handsome young fellas have as well. So I won't begrudge them, and I hope you won't in the future. They're living their lives. And yet a manosphere is dying. Who wants to hang around a bunch of dudes? Manosphere. The hell is that? I'll leave you with that. I'm going to put it in park right there. That's my big Buick 225. Then I'm going to put in park for you. And thank you, brothers. I appreciate y'all, man, so much. This is a highlight of my life. You know that, right?
Yes,
well, obviously, if you're staring at four walls, it is pretty much a highlight of your life every time you get on.
I'm staring at four walls, man. It's lots to stare. Yeah, Ronin.
You know.
Go ahead, Ronin.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to say farewell to the manosphere.
Wow.
Wow.
At least until the next generation comes behind us. That's all I'm gonna say. Because like I've been telling everybody, unfortunately, because the dating scene is the way it is and women are progressively getting worse when it comes to feminism and everything else, young brothers that are in their teenage years are going to grow up and be just like the ones that are dealing with the issues now. So more and more brothers are going to be getting passports and traveling and trying to explore their options no matter where we go. So if we have not learned from the past and have shown these younger kids on what direction they need to go and actually have people in place to demonstrate that, then this is going to keep on being wash, rinse, and repeat, unfortunately. So is manosphere going to go away in this current form? Yeah. Is it going to come back? Yeah. Because the problems that caused it have not been fixed. So at the end of the day, the manosphere isn't going anywhere. It's just going to keep on changing. And hopefully it evolves into something that's a little more controllable than what it's been right now. And right now, I don't see any leaders that are doing that. You know, as much as we try to get the attention in these rooms, as you can see how many people come in here, but you got Jay Rillos of the world and other panels that are 400 or 500 strong. So those are the thought leaders right now when it comes to those younger ones growing up. Those are the ones that are being looked up to. You know, like I said, we can only reach one, teach one. We can go in those dark rooms, shine a light, and see the ones that want to come out. The rest of them are going to sit there until they figure out they bumped their head against the wall or stuck their finger in that light socket one too many times and say, there's got to be a better way. You know, and then we'll be there. You know, but you can't force somebody to change their direction in life if they haven't been taught that from the age of childhood. And unfortunately, we got a lot of generations to go before we overcome that. Too many single mamas raising men.
We were able to force you young black people into a moral lifestyle. I know things have changed. So
yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. That
in the
lifestyle
U.S.
has
military, been dead. We were able to change.
Not really, because Darnell just basically admitted to the fact that you still got a lot of dumb military individuals that still have not learned their life lessons. And they also bump their heads up against the wall.
Are you serious, Ronin?
And they marry bar girls. Absolutely. You know how many dudes in the military marry bar girls out of stupidity because that's the first piece of trim they ever had in their goddamn lives before they signed a contract?
Oh, glory.
I don't know that. I don't know
especially
that.
Infantry.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, it's not even infantry. Even some of the smart ones are still doing it. Because they've been in their parents' closet or in you know, in college and in the books. They haven't been really out there dating because women are acting, you know, foolish. So when they go overseas, the first piece of hold on. Can I finish? I didn't interrupt anybody, did I? Oh, I did. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to ask Sergeant. Since we got Sergeant Rory here, I just wanted to ask him a question. Like, how many times did you counsel your
No. God damn, man. We've been saying we're gonna do closing statements at 4:00. It's 45 fucking minutes on a closing statement. I can't keep doing this, man. God damn. I'm sorry to do this, man. These lives are only supposed to go 2 hours.
You know he has a baby. Listen. You guys do realize he has a brand new newborn. So that baby stays up in the middle of the goddamn night. I don't understand, man. It's
closing statements y'all got.
Save that question for next time.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
We'll do.
Good Lord. But anyway, so go ahead and get your closing arguments out, and we're going to close this down because we're pushing 1:48 in the morning.
Man. I had another channel that was over 10,000 views, made money, and I had to change and say that I got to do things different. I learned that people, sometimes you got to do good and you're not popular at the time. Malcolm X wasn't popular at the time. Martin Luther King wasn't popular at the time, and damn near Jesus Christ wasn't popular at the time. So I might not make content that you're gonna understand right now, but I know I make a legacy that'll go later. So sometimes popularity isn't something you got to do, and morality is something you got to do. So I tell you guys that we got to stick together, because apart, divided, they're gonna conquer us. So just make sure that maybe you have your morals over money. That's it, and I'm out. Until next week, guys.
Can I put my hat on now?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and put your hat on.
Go ahead, put your hat on. What hat you got? You got that red hat? Oh, yep, there
All
it
right.
is. It's Trump.
America for Trump.
God bless America. God bless America. No matter
Brother,
who
watch
it
I'm
is in
proud
the
to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Yeehaw. But let me tell you
Please hit
something.
the like button
If
and-
you are an American veteran with a permanent and total disability at 100%, bring your ass down to Texas. You won't pay property tax.
Or Georgia, where I'm at right now.
All right.
Ding.
Hit
Please
the button,
hit that
man.
like,
I'm just fucking
hit the
around.
like.
Hit the button.
All right, I'm out.
God damn. Hit the button.